This is a Miami Sports Music Podcast Network production. This is the #1 Miami fan morning show. Clock Blockers, let's go.
I know the whole city riding. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter collar. Whole squad been trained to go. Phins
What's up, baby?
Singing this just to welcome bro.
It's Tua time. It's Dolphins time.
Tua time.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is your boy, Stephen D. Good morning to my family with a PH. Good morning to my Fin-laws. It's going to be good times today. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I am your host, Stephen D. You can follow me on all social media at Stephen D SKPL. Spread kindness, positivity, and love. Make sure you guys follow me there. What is going on? How y'all doing today? Man, y'all doing good? It's good to see you. It is Hot Take Tuesday. And do we have a show for you today? Let me tell you, it's a good one, and it's going to be big. It's one of the biggest hot take. Well, hold on. I didn't have the sound all the way up. I messed with the soundboard. It's Hot Take Tuesday. It's a big day. I'm going to tell y'all why in a little bit. You can follow Miami Sports Music everywhere at Miami Sports Music, except on Twitter, where we are at MIA Sports Music. Make sure y'all do that, okay? Make sure y'all go do that. Also, hey, look, hit the like button. No, seriously, hit it. Tap it. No, you. I'm talking. All right, look, you're looking at me. I'm looking at you. I hope you're not on the toilet right now. Hey, look, I'm not judging. Just hit the like button, okay? Just hit the like button, okay? Just make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, because that helps us too. We want to get to 11,000 subscribers. We can't do that without your help. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Also, hey, look, sign up to become a member of the family today. That's right. Sign up today. Become a member of the family. And can we get 2 new members to the channel today? I'd love to get 2 new members to the channel. If you're not already a member, what are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? Sign up to become a member today. As a matter of fact, I'm going to drop the link in the chat for 2 new members. All right? Big deal. Big deal. Make sure y'all do that. All right. Hey, look, also, if you want to help the channel grow by donating, lots of different ways you can do it. You can use the YouTube live super chat, which is the $ below the bottom of the chat. Or if you're rewatching us on replay, you can use the YouTube super thanks, which is the heart logo with the $ in the middle. You can use that too. If you don't want to give through YouTube, because YouTube takes out money, a lot of money, like 46%, you can always give on Cash App or PayPal, which is $MSM Podcast Network, or use the QR code that's right on your screen, or PayPal, which is also MSM Podcast Network, or use the QR code right on your screen. Want to give a big shout out to our sponsors of the show, ZSM Sports. ZSM Sports, the #1 place to get your cards, jerseys, balls, and hard to find items. Make sure you follow ZSM Sports today. I like saying ZSM Sports. It's in the game. I got the voice. I know I got the voice. I'm going to do it one day. I'm going to be the EA guy one day. My dream. Here we go. All right. Tail Greeter. Download Tail Greeter today on your current Apple. I would never say anything bad about Apple phones or Android devices. Team Android all day. Let's go. Forget you Apple people in this world. I don't know how y'all just live with yourselves. You wake up every day and you see Apple. Ugh. Anyways, Team Android is what it's all about. Make sure you download the app today on your current Apple or Android devices. Make sure y'all do it. It's a big deal. Okay? It's a big deal. Big show lined up for you today. It's not just a regular Hot Take Tuesday. It's a supersized Hot Take Tuesday. Why is that? Because today we got, not only do we got Nando talk, who's here each and every Tuesday hosting Hot Take Tuesday with me. I got Bobby Melendez from Phins Talk Sports Network hanging out with us today on Hot Take Tuesday. I had to bring somebody else into the fold just to hang out with us today. I had such a good time with him on Friday night and really been watching some of his content and just enjoying what he's doing, and invited him to come hang out with us this morning for Hot Take Tuesday. And I think you guys are going to agree. He's pretty awesome. He's a pretty good guy. Hey, real quick before we get started. So last night I did a thing. I did a thing last night, guys. Do y'all want to see? So for those of you who watch my show on a regular basis, there's this guy named Crypto, who's a regular watcher and listener of the show. He's been a supporter for a very long time. And so last night I get a text message of, hey, do you want to go to the Nationals game? I live up here in Baltimore, for those of you, north of Baltimore, for those of you who don't know. And the Nationals are probably, the stadium's like an hour and a half away from me. And so maybe a little bit longer than that. But I said, sure, why not? I'll go with you. I ain't got nothing else to do tonight. I'd like to hang out with you. So for those of you who don't know, on the Baltimore Ravens game, he paid for a hot dog for me and got me a hot dog. He says, all right, you owe me. And so for months now, actually we're months, he's been going on about how I owe him a hot dog. Okay? And he's been putting interest on those hot dogs. He said, I'm up to like 300 hot dogs now. I don't know how the heck I got up to 300 hot dogs that I owe him. But last night, I think might have done something. What's up? It's your boy, Stephen D, Miami Sports Music. We're here. Who's we? This guy, Crypto.
That's right.
We're in D.C. He asked if I wanted to go to a game today. I said, yeah, let's go. And that means I got to give him back his hot dog. You finally getting your hot dog back, man. I bet not hear nothing else about no more hot dogs. Yeah.
I chopped in half this morning, remember? Now it's down to 0.
Now it's 299 more hot dogs.
More. There we go.
All right, well, guys, we're having a good time out here. Make sure you guys watch Clock Blockers Monday through Friday, 9 a.m., right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network.
There we go.
Peace. Yeah, it was a lot of fun last night hanging out. And while we're at the game, actually, let me bring in my co-host, and then I'll talk to you about why we were at the game, because it was a big deal. All right, first co-host of the day, okay? He is from the Miami Fin Talk Network. That's right. I'm talking about, the Phins Talk Network. I said the Miami Phins Talk Network. Okay. My man, none other than Bobby, is in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. What's up, Bobby?
What's up, Steven? How you doing, man?
I messed up on your intro.
That's okay. That's okay. I guess it'll be a tongue
I'll do
twister.
better next time. I promise you I will. What's
It's
going
all right.
on, man?
Oh, man, nothing much. Just happy to be here with you on this lovely Tuesday morning.
It is a lovely Tuesday morning.
It is.
I will agree with you. It is a lovely one. We are waiting for Nando Talk to hop into the fold here. He said he's getting his camera and stuff set up. So we're just waiting on him. And so once he gets on, we're going to be able to go. So while we're waiting, I didn't want to leave you in the back. I went to the Nationals Cubs game last night in DC. And so we're sitting at the game, and we're having a good time. And all of a sudden, here, let me pull up my profile. We get down to our seats, which are on the first base line. And there's people in our seats. I'm like, I hate people that are always in your seats when you go to games. You're like, look, guys, I paid for a seat. Okay. You paid for a seat. Go sit in them. Okay. That's how I usually feel. But I noticed there was like 8 rows all wearing the same clothes. And I'm like, what's going on here? And it happened to be the Michigan State football team sitting in our seats that were visiting DC on a trip for their spring practice tour that they're doing. So we go to sit in our seats, and a guy comes up and he's like, are we sitting in your seats? He's like, yeah. He's like, just sit in front of us. He's like, you'll get a chance to meet the team and people. We'll take care of you. Okay, why not? So we sit in our seats, we're chilling, and I don't know, about 20 minutes later, maybe you know this guy, maybe you don't, but he shows up, and it was pretty cool. Got to meet Jim Harbaugh last night. We talked with him probably for a good 5 to 10 minutes. He was really, really nice. Let me tell you, this guy last night, Bobby, he was sitting in a regular seat with us, near us, in the same row, just a section over. And the team was hanging out there having a good time. I think 200 people throughout the 9 innings came down and tried to take a picture with him. And not just tried, they did. And not only did he take a picture with all 200 people throughout the 9 innings, he had a conversation with them that lasted 2 to 5 minutes, each one, and shook their hand and was the nicest person. I mean, I've met nice people before, Bobby. I'm telling you right now, Jim Harbaugh blew me away how nice he was. He was the nicest guy, and just couldn't have been more grateful for people wanting to take a picture with him and shaking everybody's hand and saying thank you. And man, it was awesome. I truly enjoyed it, Bobby. Like, you would have had a great time. It was awesome. It was such a
looks like an awesome experience and something always to look back on, to talk about the Michigan head coach, and a lot of Dolphin fans dream that a lot of people wished was the Dolphins head coach.
Well, I guess like their athletic direct or their booster club or whatever was sitting there. I guess they were on the trip with him. And so I was like, yeah, we're Dolphins fans. And you see Crypto there wearing the Dolphins shirt. And I was like, yeah, so we almost had your guy. And they started shaking their head going, no, like laughing, but like, no, we want him here. We want him to stay here. And we started talking about him. We talked about Ryan Hayes, the new draft pick that we got from him.
Yeah.
And he was saying that he really, really likes the guy, obviously. But he's like, he thinks he eventually can be developed into, a solid offensive lineman in the NFL. And then he goes, and this is the kicker, Bobby. He goes, how many people got drafted this year? I think Georgia had the most as far as schools, right? Georgia had the most players. He goes, next year, I'm going to break the record. I'm going to have 18 kids drafted next year.
Oh,
what? He's like, yeah, he said, I think the record is Georgia at 15. And I know they did it this year, but he's like, I'm going to break it next year with 18 kids getting drafted next year. I was like, that's a pretty big, that's a lofty goal. 18 kids getting drafted on your team. It was awesome, man. We were hanging out with some of the offensive linemen. We were hanging out with some of the wide receivers and the quarterbacks and tight ends. And yeah, man, it was fun. They were doing the wave. They were dancing with people. It was awesome. It was awesome. Stop leaving out the most important part of this story, Steven. Yes, the Cubs won. Level 2 noob. The Cubs won 5-1. Okay. Yes, we know. Steven, God works in mysterious ways, doesn't it? Like number one, random that Crypto asked me to a baseball game. He's never asked me to anything, really. And number two, I had to go, right? I had to say yes to it. So I go, I drive, however far it is. And then for Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan State football team to be sitting in our seats on the night that we go to a Washington, D.C. game, you'll never get that experience again. It'll never happen. Ever. It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. Had a fun time. And if you guys ever get a chance to meet Harbaugh, just blew me away how nice he was. Not everybody's that nice, but he was. No. He lived up to the expectation of nice. Great guy. What'd you do over the weekend, man? Besides do draft content.
Exactly what that was, draft content. All 3 days, almost 7 hours on Saturday with the 7th round. Sunday, we had our fantasy football show for about an hour, produced that. And then yesterday, we had our East 10th Street boys straight out of Hialeah. Talked about Dolphins, Heat, Panthers. Really just all that. Next weekend, it'll be a family weekend. Gonna go see Guardians of the Galaxy with my kids, dedicate that to them. I'll have one show on Saturday. But other than that, this weekend was totally draft.
Man, it was a lot of work, and shout out to you and your team for putting in the work that you guys put in. It was good stuff. It was good time.
Thank you.
Let's kind of get into it, man. And I'll just while we're waiting for Nando to get on, what is your just your initial blanket thoughts without getting too deep, because we'll dive into more stuff later.
Yeah.
Of the draft for the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, so just it's funny because my initial reaction to Cam Smith being picked was really like a non-shocked reaction, a non-reaction, but it was shock.
Mm-hmm.
And not because he was a bad player. He is a very good player. I looked at him very early in the process before Jalen Ramsey. But I was shocked that he was the pick there. And, of course, A-Chain right after that. The way I say it, and it's funny because I was tuning into your show yesterday, it's exactly how with Kyle Krabs. And it's what he said is exactly what I said on draft day. It's not the players. I like the players. Mm-hmm. They're damn good players, and they could ended up be great Dolphins. We don't know how the draft will turn out. Love the players. I don't like the picks. They would not have been the picks I would have made at that point, and we're not in the building. We don't, it's not our choice, but that's kind of how I feel. I don't hate the players. I'm excited that they're Dolphins. They're Dolphins now. We're going to root for them on Sundays. But there were guys on the board that I would have taken over them.
We all wanted more, I think. It was funny. I read a tweet, or I read a comment yesterday on one of my videos, and it said something to the effect of, you guys, all want certain players. If you guys want to build your own team, go buy your own team, and then you could draft the players that you want. Number one, horrible statement, but okay. Yeah. But it was as I was looking at it, Bobby, I said, I don't think fans are stupid. I don't. I think fans understand clearly what teams need. And we, for 20 years, have seen the same issues with the offensive line. We understand the issue at the tight end. We understand, the linebacker situation a little bit. I think we have a lot of faith in both of our coaches, in McDaniel, obviously having a top 10 offense last year, who might have questioned some of his moves. And obviously, Vic Fangio being the most highly touted defensive coordinator in the offseason, and us getting him, it's tough for me to question anything those two guys do. Now, with that being said, the whole point of having mock drafts and doing all of this legwork leading up to the draft is, who do we think that teams should go out and get? And there are national pundits that do it. There are YouTubers, there are content creators, there's morning show hosts. Everybody does some sort of mock draft. It happens. I'm telling you right now, Bobby, I'm very confident in saying I don't think any mock draft had the Dolphins picks the way that it went down. Nobody did. Nobody. And that's why we're surprised. That's why we're sitting here kind of flustered or flabbergasted. And we're like, what's going on with these picks? Like, it's not, because we all thought at the end of the day, and that's what we get for assuming and thinking, right? We all thought at the end of the day, hey, look, the Dolphins, they have to go offensive line here. They have to be able to go out and get a tight end here. And for them to, they still got an offensive lineman. They still kind of got a tight end, but in the 6th and 7th round. So for them to go after positions that we have pretty stacked between the defensive, the corner, right? Cam Smith, where is he going to get a lot of playing time from in the stacked defense? I'm sure he will, by the way. But because his caliber, he's a very high caliber player. But he's going to be down on the depth chart, where if he went to any other team almost, he would get a lot of playing time and a chance to start, right?
Yeah.
Or he'd be competing for a starting position on most teams, not on our team, but on most teams he would. And then as far as A-Chain is concerned, I mean, we already yes, he does fit the mold of the running back of the speed. So when I saw the pick, I was like, what the hell? What is this? Now, I can admit that when I found out what his 40-yard dash was, I was like, well, I know exactly why Mike McDaniel loves him. I get it. because Mike McDaniel's about speed, and speed kills. So I understood from the standpoint of what they were searching for and how they wanted to go about it. And, overall, it's tough for me to question McDaniel and Fangio, because I'm pretty sure both those first two picks was a Fangio pick. Fangio probably pounded on the table for Cam, and Mike McDaniel had a pick of a litter of probably whoever he wanted, and wanted Devon Achane, and he got him. So I don't know how 100% they're Chris Greer picks, but they're definitely picks that the offense and defensive coordinator wanted, and that goes such a long way.
I think that's a great point. I think if you take out the Chris Greer factor out of those picks, fans might not be as mad. I think if you say, okay, Fangio was Cam Smith, McDaniel, Achane is Mike McDaniel, okay, we could get on board that those are their guys. They're going for their guys. When you say, oh, Chris Greer made these picks, you get a little upset. And not that it had anything to do with the pick when I'm about to bring up, but that Cam Smith, no, that's the misses.
Oh, that's the misses?
That's the misses. Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. That's the misses.
Well, my missus is in my chat sometimes too. I get it. What's going on.
She's always watching. I can't do anything.
Well, that's good. I like it.
Yeah.
But I think her statement is fact. Expectation was very different from reality, right? And initial reaction is always going to be a shock, but I think fans are doing okay now. I would agree with that. I think the initial fans or the initial shock value has worn off over the last 48 to 72 hours. And now people are like, okay, this is what we got. This is what we're going to do. How do they fit into our system? How do they fit into our mold?
What I was saying was that the 51st pick, Cam Smith, what it reminded me of, at least for me, after the reaction was the Ted Ginn Brady Quinn draft. I don't know what you were doing that day.
Oh my God!
But I remember I was sitting in my living room.
Bringing up bad memories, Bobby.
I know, but it to me that's what it kind of brought me back to, and not because every player, this was the number one player on everybody's board, but he was on mine since the start of the draft process, was Darnell Washington. Yeah. And I know all the red flags that came out after, supposedly, but I'm sitting
allegedly,
yeah, whatever was, yeah. And I'm sitting there and I see Darnell sitting on the board and we're at 51 and I'm going, okay. And Deron Jones and whoever else was on there, but I see Darnell and I'm going, holy crap. He's right there. He's going to fit. He fits exactly with what this offense needs when you talk about a blocking tight end. And then they say, you can think of other players, but then they say Cam Smith, who, like you said, nobody had him mocked to Miami.
Who?
Yeah. And it's not a knock on him.
For people in the back, can you tell me who that guy is?
Exactly. And it's exactly how I felt when we drafted Ted Ginn over Brady Quinn. Brady Quinn was sitting there. And I remember I was like, holy shit. Now, of course, we know how it all turned out. But we're like, we got our franchise quarterback. That's it. We're golden. He's right there. He's on TV.
With the number 10 overall pick, the Miami Dolphins select Ted Ginn Jr. What?
Hey, I remember I looked it up.
I lost my mind.
I had to go to my draft book. I'm like, Ted Ginn. We drafted the Ginn family.
We drafted Ted Ginn over Brady Quinn. Are we nuts? Now, I guess we weren't. Ted Ginn had the better and longer NFL career than Brady Quinn. But you're right. As fans, we wanted that shock value. We wanted that pick. We wanted remember what's the movie with Chris Farley and David Spade when they it doesn't hurt so much here or here, but right here. What is it called? Oh my God. Tommy Boy.
Tommy Boy. That's right.
So Tommy Boy, there's a scene in Tommy Boy where they're at the brake pad and they're trying to sell brake pads to one of the longtime customers. And he's like, but it doesn't have a guarantee on the box. It's got to say it on the box. And Chris Farley goes, you know why you want a guarantee on the box? Because it makes you feel warm and fuzzy, because it makes you feel confident, it makes you feel safe. But what they just sold you was just a guarantee. They didn't sell you a good product. And that's probably what the Dolphins, at the end of the day, Dolphins fans are looking for. They're looking for that. We want the guarantee. We want to feel safe. We want to know that everything's okay. When in reality, if they make a pick like that, if they hadn't made that Brady Quinn pick, it would have been, they just sold us a guarantee to make us feel better. It's not necessarily a good pick. And so I look at that and I say to myself, hey, look, Dolphins at the end of the day, the front office, I gotta look. They're not gonna hit on everything. They're gonna make some mistakes. And yes, I can question some Chris Greer decisions, and I think I'm allowed to do so as a fan.
Absolutely.
But I also know that our offense looked the best it's been in 25 plus years. And there's a damn good chance that our defensive coordinator is going to do the same thing to the defense this year. So at least, that's what I think because of the foundation that is set within the players. And now bringing in somebody who sat in front of a computer for a year and a half, looking at every piece of NFL film there was for the last 2 or 3 years and knows everything there is to know about the NFL. And that's obviously being Vic Fangio. So I'm trusting the process. I'm trusting that we're making the right picks. And ultimately, I hope that, it leads to more wins. I'd like to see more than 9 wins. And then I think we'd all like to see more than 9 wins. And, then we'll go from there. You agree with that, right?
100%. 100%.
All right.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you. I know you had his agent on, and now we got yes. I know you had his agent on. I know we got A-Chain. Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel after the draft kind of hinted at they might not be done in regards of that situation. What are your thoughts on that? Is it dead, or do you think they can revisit that? Do you think it's that if he gets released, Miami could be in play for that for Dalvin Cook?
I reached out to Jason Sarney, who obviously has the connection with Dalvin Cook's agent, among a lot of other people. And, Jason told me he hasn't gotten anything specific from them and that, he hasn't really gotten any answer from them. But Jason, and I don't want to speak for him, and Jason, if you disagree, please tell me you disagree in the chat because I know you're watching this morning. I believe that I think like him. I don't think it's post June 1st. Let's see what happens post June 1st. And I think that's kind of where we're at right now. I think it's still on the table. I think it's unlikely, but I think it's still on the table. And until it doesn't happen, I'm going to believe that there's a chance because there was too much smoke to it. There was too many things that were confirmed. They did have conversations. That was confirmed. Point blank. His agent did come up here and tell us he just wants to play where somebody wants him to play. So, to me, that tells me, hey, Minnesota doesn't necessarily want him, right? I can read between the lines. So, I look at teams that could vie for his services. Yes, we got Devon A-Chain. Yes, we have 4 other running backs, but you got to think 2 or 3 of them at the end of the day have non-guaranteed contracts. A-Chain probably will get some guarantee, but at the end of the day, it'll be interesting from that standpoint. You could definitely still go out and get Dalvin Cook. And imagine a world where Dalvin Cook, Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, and Devon A-Train and Salvon Ahmed are probably your running backs. And Salvon being the last, being the number 5 back. That's a backfield I'm ready to go to war with all day, every day. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Hot Take Tuesday. And that means I have my co-host, as I do each and every Tuesday. He's the man. He's a myth. He's a legend. He usually wears some sort of aluminum foil on his head if craziness starts talking. Yeah, I'm talking about my guy, ladies and gentlemen. Nando Talk is in the building. What's up, Nando?
What is up?
Nando's getting all his stuff. Are you still getting all your stuff together? Look, he's still getting his stuff together. What am I doing with this kid? What am I doing with him? My guy.
I don't know what I'm going to do with myself, man. I didn't even realize this was unplugged. Okay.
Why do you unplug it? You got to leave it plugged in, Nando.
It was like slightly tugged, slightly unplugged, and
now,
I didn't even notice.
Now it's on now.
Yeah.
Sound good.
What is up, Steven? Thanks for having me on. Sorry for being a tad late. And Bobby, what is up? Nice to meet you, man. Pleasure.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Haven't met before, have you?
No, we have not. Pleasure's
I
all
was
mine,
listening
bro.
in the back while I was setting this up. It's probably why I wasn't the most focused on noticing this little aspect. We've been having a good
We had
talk
such
so
good
far, though.
content, and you were like, "Oh my god, I need to hear everything Steven and Bobby."
I
are
loved your
saying
Dalvin
because
Cook
it's-
talk, your Nationals talk, Steven, you know.
Yeah, that was cool, right? Jim Harbaugh,
It's pretty cool vibes, man. Yeah.
bro. It was fire last night. Hey, real quick, we're gonna get back into the talk for the Dolphins here real quick. But you guys see the hat I'm wearing, right?
Oh yeah.
The
Are y'all
Heat. What
ready?
is up, everyone, by the way?
Are y'all
Love the
ready?
Heat, Mr. Steven. It's been
Dude,
going
and
good.
the Panthers, man. I mean, it's what a time to be alive right now. And by the way, somebody said it in the chat this morning, and I have to agree. What's up with all these New York and Boston teams losing, man?
Good.
They're just losing.
Perfect, Bobby.
I love every second of it. I'm here for it. We're walking out of the Nationals Cubs game last night, and we stopped by this bar that's right outside the stadium, and the Sixers Celtics game is on. And I see the Celtics pass the ball literally to a Sixer to pretty much almost end the game. Sixers go up, and I was like, "Oh, I love it. Let's go." Anytime a Boston team or a New York team loses, the world all is right with the world. That's all I know. They're all is right. Can't go wrong. Jets suck. Patriots suck. Bruins suck. Celtics suck. Red Sox suck. Everybody in New England and New York.
There's
That root
definitely
for those teams.
Dude, there's definitely a black cloud over Boston right now. It's kind of
God,
crazy.
isn't there?
Like the sports world has definitely been affected by that Boston Bruins just getting rocked in the first round, and it's affecting the Celtics now too. Let's go, man. And I feel like the Panthers and the Heat are kind of feeding off each other as well.
Yeah.
So I love that, man. Like
South Florida teams, for the most part this year, have been crazy, right? Miami Hurricanes basketball, right?
You're the underdog down here, man. The Dolphins are about to cook something up, Steven, bro. Like
look,
FAU did it, just did it.
Marlins just swept. Who did they play over the weekend? I forget who they played, but it was like the Mets or the Braves or something.
Marlins sweeping anyone. That's crazy, man.
I know.
Time to be alive.
So I mean, the Marlins are doing good right now. They're in.
Get your pots and pans ready.
Let's go.
Get your pots and pans ready.
I mean, hey, dude, let's go. Dolphins are sitting there like, okay, all right. Well, we see what the Marlins are doing, and we see what the Panthers and the Heat just did. They just knocked off number 1 seeds in their respective leagues. Man, we got work to do. All right. We got the Jets. We got the Bills. We ain't worried about the Patriots. We're not worried about Belichick right now. Okay. So I'm telling you, at the end of the day, the Dolphins are just sitting there and they're ready to go. Marlins just swept the Cubs. That's what it was. Okay.
There you go.
I didn't want to. I'm sorry if I brought up. Sorry, level 2 noob and everybody else who are Cubs fans. But they won last night when I was there. So maybe I just need to go to the games and the Cubs will win every game. All right, Nando, man, real quick. The Panthers series that's coming up. We're going to have Locked On Panthers on hopefully next week, which I'm pretty excited about.
Series starts today.
What do you think about the series with the Panthers, man? What do they got to do to beat Toronto?
Dude, the only thing that worries me in that aspect is like the travel factor, but then Toronto has to deal with it as well. That travel from Toronto to Florida is going to make it a brutal series. So you definitely want to start early. But I think the Panthers, after beating the Bruins, like how can you really fear anyone in the NHL? You know, you beat the best team maybe of all time. So now it's like the gates are wide open. Like that was the biggest milestone in the championship run. They were all saying, remember the locker room, bro. They're going to be remember that for a long time. They just got to start hot early versus Toronto. The Panthers said that to buy tickets for the game, you have to be a Florida resident. I think it was just for the pre-sale.
How crazy is that?
I love it.
It was just for the pre-sale, but that's awesome, bro.
They're not allowing anybody outside the U.S. to buy tickets because they don't want Toronto fans to overrun Florida.
Dude,
which I love it.
Do it.
I think more teams should do that, by the way. I think you should keep it to within your state. I know enough people in Florida that if I wanted to go, they could buy me a ticket and I could send them the money and I'd be good. I'd have no problem if the Dolphins said, we're not allowing anybody outside of the state of Florida to buy tickets.
Yeah, man. Almost like what a Disney does with like the Florida resident like price, you know, like say like, hey, you can still come to the game if you want. If you're let's say a Bills fan and it's a playoff game, it's just gonna cost you $1,000, you know, and we'll use it to improving our stadium and paying our lovely workers. Thank you very much, Buffalo. But until then, I would love that, man. I'd love to do an out-of-state tax. You know, we could get around it for our lovely Dolphins fans. I'll buy the tickets myself for you.
More teams should adopt that when they're in playoffs, Bobby, like that they tell the opposing teams, you want to come, you're going to have to pay extra, or
Absolutely.
you're going to somebody in the state.
Absolutely. The worst thing to see in a home game is the opposing team, especially if you're a Miami fan, and that's usually how it is in Miami because it's a melting pot. We have more people from out of the state of Florida than we do in, so I think it would be great, get more Miami fans in there. Heat arenas, Dolphins, Panthers, Marlins.
Cruz says, well, that's dumb, Steven. You live in Maryland. That means you wouldn't be able to buy Miami game tickets. I know enough people in Florida. Good, cuz. Hey, brah, I'm sending you some money. Go buy my tickets. Let's go. Moya TV with a $10 donation says, called it out to a buddy at work. I bet we take both a CB and wide receiver or both. Why? Because we're getting team needs. Would be common sense to fans, and Greer loves to befuddle us. But Phins up, Dolphins 100. Thank you for the $10 donation. You're the only person in America then that caught it, because I don't think anybody else here did. I don't think anybody else. Hats off to you, Moya. You need to come up here and give us more predictions. That way we know. We'll listen to you, Moya. If you got that right, tell us. Do you know the score of tonight's games? Can you tell me exactly how much by? I'm pretty sure there will be some people here that want to know that information.
Let me know that Panthers Bruins score.
Do we know if Jimmy's playing?
Jimmy Butler is playing that I'm aware of.
Okay.
They're
what a trooper, man.
I know. But they haven't officially gone in, but everybody says all signs point to him playing.
Okay.
What I will say is I hate that the Heat and the Panthers game is on at the same time. I'm pissed off about that. 7 and 7:30. What am I supposed to do? I got one TV. Am I supposed to? And I don't want to watch on my phone. I got to watch on my phone one of the games. That's no fun. I don't like it.
What would you rather watch? Basketball or hockey?
Oh man, see, you're getting me in trouble, Bobby.
Sorry.
Well, so here's the thing. I'm a bigger basketball fan.
Okay.
But there is nothing like playoff hockey. Like playoff hockey is the best. Like nothing comes close to it. So I'm not giving you an answer. I like basketball more, and playoff hockey is the best.
There you go. Okay. Fair game.
Let's Greenview. I don't have that cool stuff, Flava J. I'm not
pretty
cool
awesome.
like that. Right? You don't have that capability over here. All right. Not smart to play Jimmy tonight. Next game isn't until Saturday. Let his ankle heal. G-Man, the Dolphins said. Would you play him tonight, Bobby?
That's a great point from G-Man, and if he's healthy enough, look, we know he's a trooper. We know he's going to fight it out. That guy, playoff Jimmy, is a different beast. I know a lot of people are talking about LeBron, rightfully so. Stephen Curry, 50 points in Game 7. Okay, but look what Jimmy's been doing these playoffs. Do you want to risk him for the next series? That's where it comes into play. If he feels like he's up for it and the Heat are trusting of it, then yes, play him tonight. But if there's any kind of soreness or something that could exaggerate the pain or whatever, then no, sit him out, go into Miami. Let him come in to play Miami.
They got game 1 already. It's at Madison Square Garden. Let him. I think you're right about that. They probably should sit him. Let him sit. But he is the hottest player in all of basketball right now.
He is.
William Perry with his $2 donation says, buy another TV, Steven. Jeez, problem solved. Thank you for your $2 donation. I'll go get another TV with it. Let's go. Anyways.
I used to have like a tiny TV just for that little purpose.
Y'all try to tell Himothy Butler, Himothy McBuckets Butler III, he's not playing tonight. Okay. Yeah, I don't think anybody can tell him he's not playing. If he wants to play, he's going to play.
Did you see him at the end of the game? Chris Quinn and Spo were looking at each other like, you want to tell Jimmy to come out? You want to tell him?
Nobody's telling Jimmy. So 2 things. Number 1,
Chris Quinn was scared, nervously laughing. It was hilarious.
He is the hottest player on the planet right now in basketball. Like, without a doubt, unequivocally. Go look at his points in the first series. Go look at what he did at Madison Square Garden night 1. And he's doing it hurt. And it's like, I'm gonna tell you right now, Jimmy Butler's not in. Like, if he's out for any, they don't win. He is the best player on the court. He's the best player on the Heat, and he's probably the best player in the series, without a doubt. There's nobody on the Knicks that's better than Jimmy Butler.
No.
Not even close.
No way.
Not even close. So I would have probably agreed with G, man. I think you probably should let him sit, but you got to let it be up to him, because if you try to tell Jimmy Butler to sit out,
Good luck.
Exactly. Exactly. Himothy was crip walking all through New York yesterday. The way the experience was. If Tyler Harrow were playing, they would sit Jimmy. That's probably true. That's probably true. What playoff record did he break? What did he score in that one series? What, 56 points? Fourth all time?
Yeah, fourth
all time. Crazy.
It was most by a Miami Heat player.
Williams, here's $5 more for the TV, Steven. Tired of all these excuses. Get your together, okay? God, William, fine. Yelling at me, man. Come on, nobody's hotter than Dylan Brooks. Gabriel, don't you get me started on that man. Oh, that man got exactly what he deserved. A hot, full bucket of nothing with a side of, don't you ever open your mouth again, cuz. That's what Dylan Brooks got. Go sit in the corner. You'll be lucky if Memphis says, hey, after what you just pulled in the playoffs, we're going to release you. Because it is you and you alone why LeBron James and the Lakers straight up killed them. Yes, it is. I agree with that. All right. Let's go. It's Franklin stuff says, so Randall's chopped liver then? There's nobody on the Knicks that's even comparably close.
That's the thing. Is he chopped liver compared to Jimmy? Yes. Not in the NBA. I mean, he's a good player, but he's not Jimmy Butler.
He's not Jimmy Butler. Let me ask you real quick, guys. Is Jimmy Butler top 5 player in the NBA right now?
Playing right now? Yeah.
No, I'm not saying just playing, like just in general. If you gave me top 5 players in the NBA, does Jimmy Butler make that list?
Probably not.
I say top 10.
I don't know, man. I think this playoffs proves to me that he's top 5. He deserves
in the playoffs, he's top 5. And when we were going into the playoffs, and on my network, we have Miami Heat. Well, NBA show Fast Break, and they weren't very confident in regards of how the Heat were playing at the end of the season going into the playoffs. They thought the post. I said no. I think the Miami Heat playoff team, playoff Jimmy, is a different beast. And I had him going out beating the Bucks, and they did. Jimmy Butler in the playoffs is a different animal ever since that finals. And even though they came up short, I mean, Jimmy went on a whole other level, and he's played like that since.
S. Harris says, don't be a homer. Randall and Brunson are both close to Butler, and he's no top 5. F out of here. LMAO. Henry OT says, top 10, playoffs top 5. Really? Never, Stephen D. Playoff Jimmy is different than regular season Jimmy. That's a fact. I'll give you that. Playoff Jimmy is different. But that's the thing. That's just get in. Just get in. Have news for most Heat don't have that problem. They sell out and have loyal fans. I guess he's talking about the tickets there. I think you're behind J Miami Sports, but yes, I will tell you, you're right. The Heat don't have the same problem that the Marlins, the Dolphins, and probably I don't think the Panthers have that problem either. Panthers fans are usually all Panthers fans at those games, right? There's nobody.
Depends where you sit. I'd say I went to one of the games last series. It was a bunch of Bruins fans. It was a little. I mean, I did sit in the cheaper seats, so it makes a little more sense. That's something that, like, with teams like the Dolphins, with teams, and you, that guys have, Steven, you've been to away games. I've had this question, and Bobby, I'd love your take on it as well. It stems a little bit from soccer, but there they tend to organize away fans in like a section, like to so it'll be like, let's say like a sea of aqua, and then there'll be bam the purple, and that's the Vikings there, and it's a big section, and you can hear their chants louder. They can be a little bit more free to roam, a little bit more at ease. And then the Dolphins fans and the home fans, they don't have to deal with the away fans. Could you see that being implemented in the NFL, like an away fan section?
The way it is in soccer.
Yeah, like that. You had like a big rambunctious fan. Like I've never been to an away game, so I don't know if that would make you feel more comfortable, Steven, if you had like just a
So
big
I
section of
remember
Dolphins.
I remember going to my first MetLife takeover up in New York. Shout out to Dolphins NYC. And I remember thinking, man, Jets fans, I've heard, some bad things about them, right? And we were all up in the top section that first takeover I went to, and we were probably 2 or 3 sections deep up top by ourselves. Dolphins killed the Jets that day. The stadium was empty by the end of the game, and it was fine. Now, as we were leaving, Jet fans tried to start with us, and I think there was a fight with a couple of the fans that allegedly could have been with us with, some of the Jet fans. But I'll say this. I think you're always bigger in numbers, right? You're better in numbers. And I think that the reasoning soccer does that is to have less fights, because for some reason there's more fights in international soccer fans than there are anywhere else. I don't understand why there is, but
More
there
passion.
definitely is. Maybe. I mean, my dream is to go to an internet. I would love to go to like a UEFA soccer, like something big, like Manchester United, something. Give me something big, and I would love to. And then I've heard soccer matches in like Italy and Spain and some of these other places are even like crazier with less crowds, but just even crazier. Do I think the NFL will ever adopt that? Probably not.
Because it improves for chance as well, like for example, like the Vikings when they do skull, if they're all in one little section, that's like a powerful little skull blast. Or when the Dolphins went to the Saints game or MetLife takeover, like I feel like their chance would be more powerful if you were all in
there
one
are
area.
When we're at the MetLife takeover, we are 2,000, 3,000 people deep inside of MetLife screaming,
Exactly.
and it's crazy. It's awesome.
But if you guys were spread out, maybe it's not as coordinated.
You wouldn't get those chances as well as the other ones. I don't know if the NFL will ever do it.
It'd be cool.
I'd like them to, but
I like the idea for sure. I think it would look cool visually too.
Visually, yes, Bobby, exactly. Like on TV, it looks sick. Like the Panthers game right now.
How
cool
would you tell that to fans, though, Nando? I want to sit in the third base side, or I want to sit, in the end zone, corner end zone.
So you still can, but it's more like you don't get like you'd have to promote it more as like, this section is where the fun's at. This is where maybe they could do like I don't know, a little bit more of a drink deal for the away fans, or like there's like a little the teams take NFL takes more to account for to sponsor it. I don't know, but
what's up, Steve?
What's up, Steve?
I think it would be an issue more with home fans than it would be away fans, because away fans, you say, hey, this section is for your team here. Of course, then you have to put that on the ticket sale or whatever. The home fans is like, I guess what Steven's saying, or, at least your point is, it'll be harder for them because if they want to get a cheaper seat here, but that section's put off for the away team. Okay. Right. But I think it's a good idea. And I think, again, if you Vikings versus Dolphins, aqua and orange over here, and then you got yellow and purple over there. It looked nice on the home screen.
Pretty cool, man.
I don't know if they'll ever do it, but I do like it, and I think you should lead the charge with that, Nando. You should start a virtual sign up, and I will be the first name. Yes, I hereby declare that Nando is correct, and we should start adopting this in American sports. Let's go.
Right. I'll take any of the leagues, man. Any of the leagues that want to listen to me first. This is the new way.
This is the way.
Right.
All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. All right, let's look at undrafted free agents, guys, because I think that's something that we probably need to dive into a little bit, because the Dolphins have a history, and even a recent history, that an undrafted free agent is going to make an impact on this roster and on this team some way, somehow. Last year it was Cater Kahoo, and years past it's been people like Nick Needham. It's also been who else? Who's some other guys off the top of my head? We've had a few undrafted free agents that make an impact on this roster. This year, this is the undrafted free agent list that you can see on the screen here. Nando, I'll start with you, and then Bobby, I'll go with you. On this list, is there a name or two that A, you see making the squad, and B, making an impact? Because the Dolphins do have a history of at least one undrafted free agent being a big impact on this team. So if you had to guess who that person would be, who would that person be? Nando, give me who you think.
Aubrey Miller, man, definitely out of Jackson State. It's a name that I think we had talked about once or twice on a couple shows, Steven, for like being mock draft in the 7th round. Looks like he went undrafted, which is almost better. Time and time again, players in the NFL say, hey, 7th round is cool because you end up getting drafted, but you don't get to choose your best spot. Aubrey Miller got to look at his team, say, which one do I fit in the best with, or which one maybe gels with me the best? Which one would I fit in with? And he said, hey, I'm going to the Miami Dolphins. And Aubrey Miller agreed to the deal with the Dolphins. I love him out of Jackson State. It's a nice athletic linebacker who could hopefully make an impact on the team. We've had UDFA linebackers in the past make a little impact. Neville Hewitt, Hull. Like, it's a nice time, bro. Like, I think we can get some nice little action out of him. And then Michael Turk, too, that little punter out of Oklahoma. Big body punter is always nice. So let's rock with it, man. Look at those arms. My guy's jacked.
I know he is jacked. I like look, the story of Michael Turk and his uncle being a punter here, that would be pretty dope.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Let's get a little homecoming, man.
Bobby, for you, who do you think on this list will be the guy that the Dolphins should look out for?
Well, let's say someone different, because I agree with Nando on Aubrey Miller.
I took the easy name, Bobby.
Yeah, no, and I do. I love what I've seen from him, just watching him, and mean linebacker, all of the above. But to say someone different, there's two names that jump out at me when I got to look at him a little bit. Was the other linebacker from Illinois State, Vanderburg, who's an edge rusher as well. Like what I've seen from him. And then defensive lineman, because we do need someone behind Quan Davis, is the Southern Cal, Brandon Peely. God, I'm butchering that name, I'm sure. But that's a name that I'm looking at that could make this roster, because we do have a spot behind it. We need depth. So that's the name. But besides Aubrey Miller, which again, I don't think it's an easy name, but I agree with you. I think that's the most attractive person on this list that I think could make this roster just based off his play. He looks like he could fit Vic Fangio, but Peely and Vanderburg from Illinois State are two names that I'm looking at.
I mean, I just fell in love with Peely, man. I just checked his size. He's 6'3", 345 pounds. My God. He's a monster.
He's a big guy. One of the names, so my wife went to Mississippi State, so I watch a lot of Mississippi State games, and Randy Charlton, the defensive lineman out of Mississippi State, boys, let me tell you, this kid, he's got gas. This kid's got it. He's got a motor. I think, just look out for Randy Charlton. I really think that this kid could do something. And look, I'm a little biased because I've watched a lot of his games over the last 3 years, but I think he's good. I think he's legit good. So I like him. He's the name that sticks out for me. Guys, what are the odds that any of the University of Miami guys, DJ Scaff or Mitchell Agood, I think I'm butchering his name too, the University of Miami guys make the team or make an impact?
I hate to say zero, but I see more. Again, I see a few, like those three names we've brought up, or four names now with Randy Charlton. I see more attractive names than those guys there. I'd like to see that. Hometown guys playing for the Dolphins. Always love seeing that. But I don't want to say zero, but not more likely than those other guys we discussed.
It'll
Agreed,
be,
yeah.
Look, I'd like to see the U all day come on and make an impact on this squad, but yeah, I don't know if those guys will be able to do that. All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. All right, we've discussed the draft a little bit in detail. We've discussed undrafted free agents. So that leaves what's left. What do the Dolphins need to do to address any more needs or any other needs to make sure that come week 1, we're prepared, we're ready to go? Bobby, I'm going to start with you. What do you think the Dolphins need to do that they have not done yet to be prepared for week 1 in the NFL?
Yeah, so, and Miami's shown that they're not done yet, but obviously, easy answer would be offensive line, right? We're waiting on that spot there. And, I've talked about it on my channel, Phins Talk Sports Network, that when everybody kept bringing up offensive line, people say, oh, it's smoke. Chris Greer brought up plenty of times pre-draft, pre-free agency that he was comfortable with the offensive line, that they believed Austin Jackson and Eichenberg still have time to develop and could develop into something nice. We thought it was smoke. It ended up not being smoke so far. But I do think that they have to get a veteran tackle or a veteran guard. Get someone here, at least for depth reasons. And I know Cam Fleming's an easy name to talk about, but I'm not saying he's going to be, and I don't think he will be the savior. I think he's competing for a backup role. It's good to have a veteran back there. I think it's Austin Jackson's job to lose. I know that doesn't turn Dolphin fans on, but I just think it's the reality. I'd love to see them get a legit tight end, at least one who could block and catch. I don't know who's on the market still, but I think they're pretty set on that spot. And then you look at the running backs. Yes, we have Mozart. He had 900 yards. You got Jeff Wilson, but I think that's expendable. $2.2 million if you trade him now or cut him. After June 1st, it drops down like $785,000. So, and then of course you got Gaskin and Ahmed, but those guys are the most expendable guys. You could cut them anytime, which you probably will with A-Chain. So I think a veteran back. For me, I know Dalvin Cook's the obvious answer. I'd prefer more of a thumper, a hard hitter. Go ahead.
You think no matter what, they're going to get one more running back through the door?
I believe they will. I don't think they're done with there.
Interesting.
At least
to me, that would be more likely that Dalvin Cook is the guy.
And I know somebody said in the comments there earlier, and forgive me, I don't remember their name right now, but they were saying that was more fan driven. I don't think that was fan driven.
It was not fan driven at all.
That was Vikings. Dolphins actually spoke up. It's reported. They talked.
That's been confirmed.
Yeah, it's all been confirmed. And I think the Dolphins. But see, this is what I love. Look, we can talk about what we did not like about the Dolphins offseason or the Dolphins draft, but here's what I love about their offseason. I got to give credit where it's due. Is that it was besides Jalen Ramsey, that was their one splash, which is all fair, but it was conservative free agency. They built out their roster where they did not have to reach or go after a certain need, because what did they do? They signed the guy from Denver for a tight end. They re-signed Durham Smythe. They traded Gesicki. They got back all their running back room. They filled out their linebackers, whatever. Not sexy names besides Jalen Ramsey, but enough where they go, okay, I don't have to, in regards to the running back room, we got Mozart and Wilson and those two other guys, and those two guys did decent. It wasn't that they sucked last year in Miami. It's not that they had a bad year. It was that for whatever reason, Mike McDaniel became a prisoner of the passing game and didn't use them. It was a 80-20 split instead of 60-40. So they might have better years next year, but Miami gave it to, when they re-signed everybody, they gave them the flexibility to say, hey, we don't have to trade the farm to go get a Dalvin Cook. We could wait this process out, and if they cut him, if obviously if they're not going to get into a bidding war, but now they're comfortable going into next year, into this coming season with those 4 backs they have on the roster, or 5 backs right now. But that doesn't shut the door on Cook. It just gives them flexibility to wait out the process.
Raphael Courtwright says, CB83, shout out to CB83, Dolphin Miami Sports Music family member here. Family says Dalvin Cook to the Dolphins for a 5th round pick. Twittersphere rumor. So yes, there was a tweet yesterday, allegedly. You guys know when I do it, allegedly, sprinkle that in. That there is a trade on the table, and it's been confirmed by Vikings reporters on the Viking side of things.
I saw that. Yeah.
Dolphins side. That allegedly there's the trade already for a 5th round pick, and it'll happen after June 1st. What do you guys think about that? If that is the case, Nando, Dolphins getting Dalvin Cook, top tier running back for only a 5th round pick in next year's draft, you take that all day, right?
I mean, I take it all day if it's gonna happen. Like, I don't know if it's confirmed. Like, I don't know how credible it is, but if it's gonna happen, I'm loving it, man. Like, as a Dolphins fan, like, we got Devon A-Chain. Like, I think he's first down, second down with his size right now. Boom, he's ready to go. But if we add Dalvin Cook, you can let Devon A-Chain develop a little bit more and still be the back of the future and still have a dynamic backfield. Like, it just gives you so many possibilities, man. I think you can use them all and just have all these toys for Mike McDaniel for the cost of a 5th round pick. I'm overjoyed, man. Like, I'm through the moon. If we could restructure his deal, that'd be awesome too. Like, that's why I prefer him as a free agent. Like, yeah, we won't get in a bidding war with him, but if we can get a nice deal, that'd be pretty awesome for Dalvin. I want him. I really want him bad though, man. Like, I don't know if it's exactly fan driven. I think there is some merit to the trade talks. I think that is something that Dalvin Cook has wanted. We saw him with the FaceTime with Cam Smith when he got drafted. We've seen the
Well, they have the same
rumors.
agent. They have the same
Yeah,
agent. That's
same
why.
agent. You know, there's talks, bro. And we
Mhm.
saw that happen with David Long. That was David Long, and who had the same agent that helped get into Miami.
I know who you're talking about. I can't
Yeah.
think of his name off the top of my head, but yes, there was a screenshot of them. Same thing with Jalen Ramsey when that whole deal went down. There seems to be screenshots everywhere on Instagram from players when trades or signings go down, and you kind of start putting two and two together. You know,
Sometimes there's for every rumor there has to be a kernel of truth. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't just come out of nowhere. That's how a rumor gets to be popular because there has to be some truth to it. So I think Dalvin Cook could come to the Dolphins, man. And I own in my dynasty league, man, and it's a $1,000 league. So if I have Dalvin Cook as a Dolphin, that'd be beautiful, bro. Come on.
what do you say? What do you say to fans who say that we don't need Dalvin and he's a luxury that the Dolphins don't necessarily need?
Kind of is a luxury. Like we've done the stats and no team in the last 10 years. I think it's been like one that's gone with the premier back. I mean, the Chiefs just did it off Jarrett McKinnon, who I love. Jet, let's go. But he's nothing crazy. Him and Isaiah Pacheco just helped the Chiefs get a Super Bowl. I mean, they have a much better quarterback. And that's kind of been the thing. It's either been you have a crazy defense or a crazy QB. Never really been too much of the running back. Marshawn Lynch might have been the last big running back to do it. So Dalvin Cook is a luxury in that
And
sense.
even his head coach didn't hand the ball off to him when it
mattered most.
Not bringing that up at all. It's if any Seahawks fans are listening, little gut punch there.
Right. I mean, like, play it out, man. Dolphins in the Super Bowl with Dalvin Cook on the 2-yard line. We have Tyreek Hill. We have Jalen Waddle. Like, are you really running the ball with Dalvin on the 2-yard line, or are you saying I'm going to try to get it to Reek? I'm going to try to get it to Waddle. I'm going to try to get it to my big body tight end.
Good question, man.
You know
if Dalvin comes here, what happens in goal line stances? Do you give it to Dalvin, or do you try to get it to one of your star receivers? That's a really good question, Nando.
In the Super Bowl, bro.
Like, I don't know if I've ever told you this before, but you're a smart guy. Did you know that?
Sometimes I get some things rattling in the brain, bro. A spark will ignite, and it's a nice little fire catches, bro.
Mike S. asked, Stephen D, if we got Cook, who would I drop from our running back room if we needed to? Myles Gaskins, for me, probably takes that. And look, Myles had a really good career here. There's a lot to thank him for during his time, but he would be the one that would have to go. I like Salvon Ahmed. There's just I still think that kid's got something in him, and I like him a lot.
McDaniel does too, apparently.
Huh?
McDaniel does too, apparently.
Exactly. McDaniel. Myles, to me, is the only running back in that room that does not fit the speed mold. And I'm not saying Myles isn't fast. He is, but he's not Raheem Mostert fast. He's not Devon A-Chain fast. So for me, Myles is the one that would definitely be the guy that would probably get dropped from more. But I think Ahmed needs more time. And
that must suck.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being that fast, and then you just so happen to have Devon A-Chain or Raheem Mostert on your team, and you're considered slow? It's like,
that's so it is, man. It is.
Poor guy.
Poor guy.
Hey, so real quick to change the subject a little bit. Somebody brought this up to me yesterday, and I want to bring it up to you, gentlemen. I want you all to listen to this. So the question, did the Miami Dolphins make a mistake? Here we go. This is the scenario, and it happened. Did the Miami Dolphins make a mistake when they decided to keep Mike Gesicki last year instead of A, releasing him, or B, trading him? And here's why. If the Miami Dolphins had released Mike Gesicki last offseason, the Dolphins would have gained at minimum at least a third-round draft compensation pick. And there are people that are saying you could have gotten 2 draft compensation picks for Gesicki, maybe 2 third-rounders. So imagine if the Dolphins had 2 extra third-round compensation picks in this year's draft because they let Gesicki go last offseason. Do you think that the Dolphins made a mistake by keeping him on the roster last year, paying him $10 million, or by franchise tagging him and allowing him to walk this year when at the end of the day, they're not going to gain anything from it when they could have done it last year. Nando, I'll start with you. Did the Dolphins make a mistake with that?
Hindsight's 2020, man. Like, if it could be seen as either, a team stubborn trying to make sure that their pick pans out, or Coach Mike McDaniel and John Embry come in and they go, I really like this Mike Gesicki dude. Mind if we tag him and make sure it works? Sure. And it was an experiment that didn't work out, a costly experiment for sure. That would have been nice to get draft picks. It would have been nice to not have his money on the books last year. Maybe we could have made some more moves, but we decided to go with the experiment and it didn't pay out, man. Not all experiments will in the NFL. I still trust McDaniel's judgment. I still think that John Embry has a great track record with tight ends and just wasn't to be with Big Mike. So he'll go off to New England, good luck to you. But as a player, as a New England Patriot, I hope you have 10 million safeties, 200 catches for 0 yards. But I don't know what to say. It didn't pan out, bro. But I don't think it was.
I hope that Mike Gesicki is the leading receiver on the worst team in the AFC East. That's what I hope for Mike Gesicki. Okay,
I love that.
Bobby, did the Dolphins make a mistake by not releasing him last year or trading him?
Yes, and that's before you even brought up the compensation picks. I was saying that last year, and it wasn't against Gesicki because I think Gesicki's a very talented player. He just didn't fit the offense. I mean, and I thought they should have traded him before they lost him for nothing. And now you're saying, they should have let him go and it got a couple compensation picks.
That hurts.
That hurts a little more. So I appreciate that. Thank you for putting salt on the wound.
I'm sorry, Bobby. I'm
damn.
sorry.
I was already going to agree with you, but you just stuck it in deeper and and twisted it a little bit.
Bobby, true friends stab you in the front. Okay, just always.
I appreciate that.
All right,
bless your heart.
But the question was brought up to me yesterday, and it blew my mind because I had never thought about it. Right, and number two, I was like, holy cow. So you're telling me the Dolphins could have had 2 extra compensation picks for just releasing Gesicki? Because I don't know what Gesicki gave us last year that would entice him to what we paid him, which was 10+ mil, I think, right? I think that was his salary last year. He was franchise tag, so he was paid in the top 3 of the tight ends.
I think he was 10.
So I don't know. And my question is, why do you take that as a mistake on Greer too? Do you put that on Greer and say, hey man, you dropped the ball on this too? And can I blame Greer for that one?
Well, you would have to believe, especially the way Chris Greer has been now with McDaniel, that it was a McDaniel decision to keep Gesicki. And I understand, look, Gesicki, again, one of the talented receiving tight ends in the NFL, and I think he's going to do very well in New England if they use him correctly. And I can understand. I see Miss Phins in there. Shout out to Miss Phins.
She loves Gesicki.
I know it.
It's sexy, as she says.
And I know she's getting defensive right now, but it's true. But the thing is, he did not fit the Dolphins' offense, and that's not a mistake on him. Saying it's a mistake is not a knock on him. It's a knock on the Dolphins.
Nobody's saying that. At least I'm not, and I don't think we are. We're not saying that Gesicki itself is a mistake. We're saying the Dolphins knew they weren't going to utilize him last year.
Exactly.
They knew it. You kept him, in my opinion, for 2 reasons. Number one, loyalty. You kept him for loyalty. The man's been here. We want to show you how much we appreciate you. Yes, we're not going to extend you because we know you don't fit into our system. But we want to say, hey, look, we let him play out his contract. We even franchise tagged him. We respect him. And so I think the loyalty and the respect, right? And then I think the other thing that was that's the reason you keep him too, is because he is a red zone threat. He is a threat to catch some balls. And it's tough, again, so let's play this out, Bobby and Nando. If the Dolphins had just straight up said, we're not re-signing Gesicki, we're going to let him walk, we're not even going to offer him a contract, Dolphin fans, I think there would have been some of them, a good portion of them, that would have been up in arms. How can you not, at least franchise tag him? There would have been a portion of that fan base. What do you think that would have been like? Do you think more people would have been upset by letting him walk, or what's going on right now that we missed out on 2 potential 3rd-round comp picks by not letting him walk?
I think people would have been pretty mad, bro. Like it's a player who like you never want to let a talent walk for nothing. And so I think that's kind of the logic of tagging him. And I don't know if it was the right move because then it's how hot was the market for him. Like it's easy to sit here and say we could have traded him for this, we could have traded him for that, you know. But I'm sure Greer would have loved to trade him for a tackle if he could have. I'm sure he would have loved to trade him for good picks if he could have. But letting him walk for nothing would have ensured his picks. But at the time, it would have also had a bunch of Dolphins fans up in arms, man.
Miss Phins is defending it to.
She will do it until
You're
her
going to die on
final.
that sword, huh, Miss
Yeah.
Phins? I'm
He
not
is a
mad
great
at
weapon,
you. I
man.
get it. She says when Tyreek and Waddle weren't catching touchdowns, Gesicki was. Thank him for the multiple wins because of his touchdown catches.
He had his
I
services,
think we
bro.
would have gotten it from somewhere else.
Yeah, I agree with that. With what you're saying, Steven. And it's not a knock on him. I even thought I didn't think we should have kept him last year because I mean the writing was on the wall, especially if you followed Shanahan's type of offense and the way they did things. And what type of tight end they like to use. But when they did keep him, he was my prediction was that he was gonna have the most touchdowns because of the red zone threat. But he didn't. He was hardly ever used. And we could say, oh, one touchdown here and there, maybe it won a game. But it's like, how much of a difference did he actually make? And it's not a knock on him. It's the way the offense was called.
And I want and Miss Phins, I want you to remember something. Here's the opposite thing of this, right? As much as you love Gesicki, the Dolphins aren't going to see anything. I don't think we're going to see anything, right? Because we let him walk on a franchise tag. There's no compensation pick that we're going to get for him next year, right? Is that an accurate statement? I'm pretty sure it is. But let's go with that it is. If I'm wrong, so be it. But if they had to let him walk after his rookie deal, I think they would have gotten 2 third-round compensation picks. Imagine this draft, a second rounder and 3 third-rounders. Would we be sitting here complaining about some of the picks that we made? Maybe the Dolphins do get Darnell Washington. Maybe the Dolphins take those 2 compensation picks and move back into the second round again and go get somebody that they love. There were too many opportunities for the Dolphins to improve on their team for the future, and they missed out by not getting him. And I think it's a fair thing to bring up because as much as I love Greer, and I am a Greer supporter, just so everybody knows, I know I don't sound like it right now, I also want to put accountability where accountability is due. And I think I want to put this on Greer because I think that you guys dropped the ball and we could have had 2 extra third-round picks this year, and you didn't do it. You didn't do it because you were loyal to a player that, no offense, this is a game you didn't need to be loyal to. That's how I feel about it. And see, Miss Phins is still defending it. Imagine this draft with a first rounder, Steven. We can play that game too. Too many opportunities for us not to get caught cheating and losing the first round pick. I get it. I understand it, Miss Phins. I'm not going to win this argument with you. I get it. I understand. But I'm telling you right now, we could have had 2 extra third-round picks if it wasn't for it.
Did anybody see what happened with the Cardinals? If we're talking about the first-round pick, I think it was the Cardinals and the Eagles.
Started on that.
They like settled and negotiated.
That's an option.
Yeah.
We could have gotten that as an option.
Yeah, you know damn well Stephen Ross would have paid up anything. But they, I
would have started a GoFundMe. I would have started taking plasma donations, man. I'd been like, let's go. How much is it, NFL? 10 million? Let's go. The kids are about to be overjoyed with this donation. Let's do it, man. Like what? We could have settled with later picks and money. Bobby, that's terrible, bro.
I agree with you. And I see Miss Vince's comment there. It's not we didn't. I don't think it's making it sound like he's useless. It wasn't that he's useless. No, you could have used him. It's just that Dolphins did not.
So here's the thing, Miss Phins. Nobody is on this panel is knocking Gesicki. Bobby, do you like Gesicki?
Love Gesicki.
Do you think he's a top 5 talent in the league as a tight end as far as just talent?
Offense weapon, yeah. Yes, absolutely.
As an offensive weapon.
Yes.
Nando, do you think that offensive weapon-wise tight end, he's a top 5 talent in the league?
As a receiving, wise,
as an offensive weapon.
Yes.
Right? That's what we're saying, okay? I get it. We're not arguing that. We are arguing that the Dolphins knew goodness daggone well that they were not going to utilize him last year and the offense that they had designed for Tua Tagovailoa.
I don't think you can know that though, man. Like you can like just like how we're talking about it, like a team on paper, you know, like they could very well thought like, come on, bro, his blocking can't be that bad. Okay, McDaniel's coming in there. He's like, come on, how bad can he possibly be at blocking? How soft can this guy possibly be? I'm sure John can whip him into shape. And then they get in front of him, start working with pads, and they go, oh my God, this is never going to happen. He's who he is. He's a great receiving weapon.
That
was not a blocker, bro.
Mike McDaniel impersonation. I thought Mike McDaniel was talking to us at that very moment. Not going to lie to you.
I could slip.
Nando, 1,000%. Love it.
And here's the thing, gentlemen. I'm telling you, when it comes to it right now, mark my words. This is Hot Take Tuesday, right? Let me get
I'm prepared, Steven. You know me, man.
Yeah, you go ahead and put it on. Go ahead and put it on. You need it. Mike Gesicki will have the best year of his career in New England this year, even with Wack Jones as his quarterback. He will have the best year of his career. He will have the most receptions and most touchdowns this year as long as he stays healthy. He's going to do it. And we'll look at it and say, oh, we let that walk. Yes, we let that walk because he wasn't part of our system. He did not fit our scheme. But he will most definitely have a career year this year in New England. No doubt about it, in my opinion. You say what you want. Hot take. Hot Take Tuesday. I know people do not like that because it's a New England Patriot guy. I get it.
I'm glad I protected myself.
Yeah. You needed to. Okay, you definitely needed to.
Like, define career years, Steven. Like, as a tight end, or are we talking about like Bill uses him purely as a receiver and goes, my God, we can't throw to anyone on this team because they all suck. We're gonna have to chuck it up to Mike Gesicki.
Your takes have been horrible lately. Tomatoes. Okay, fine. Stop hating.
They didn't use John Smith well, bro. Like, I one of the best FIU players of all time. Let's go, baby. Pause up. He's a 6'3". He's not as big as Gesicki, but he's pretty athletic. He's a receiving tight end in that mold. And he didn't really get used much in New England, man. Like, he's a Falcon now. I mean, that's why they're bringing in Mike Gesicki. They have no receivers there. So I could see him being used as a receiver. But in that two tight end scheme that Bill Belichick wants to use will not be used with Mike Gesicki. You can't do that. No, sir.
He will be the best receiver for the New England Patriots.
Receiver, yeah.
Stephen D on Hot Take Tuesday said that Mike Gesicki will be the best receiver for the New England Patriots next year. Yes, I said it. That's over Juju Smith-Schuster. I just want you all to know that. Okay? That's over Juju Smith-Schuster. All right. Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. All right. We've talked Dalvin Cook. We've talked roster breakdown. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball. We talked some undrafted free agents that the Dolphins are going to try to bring in, maybe a nose tackle or somebody to, fill in or fill in nicely in that defensive line role, that defensive line rotation. As far as linebackers are concerned, Bobby, what are the Dolphins good at linebacker, or do you think there's another one or two linebackers that they need to go out and get?
I think they're good if it's left alone right here, but I think it could use one more veteran linebacker if one is cut.
And there usually is.
Yes.
Usually is.
If there's one veteran linebacker cut, obviously, and there will be, I think Miami could add them. I think it would be better for them to. But if Miami goes into the season with this group of linebackers, I like this group of linebackers that we have. I do. With David Long and Malik Reed, and Van Ginkel is back, and hope they brought back Baker. Obviously they must have been happy with, or Fangio must have something on mind for him. But I think they could use a veteran linebacker if one is cut that could fit this defense.
Nando, what do you think about the linebacking course and the linebacking situation?
I really like David Long, and I'm hoping the best for him, man. I'm hoping his little injury bugs are behind him in Tennessee, and in Miami, he's ready to go. That's one of the first pickups from Fangio. We talked about Aubrey Miller earlier. I really like him as well. And then, Mr. Van Gink is staying in Miami. So I think we've got a decent linebacking core. It's not the greatest strength. It's definitely the weakest part of this defense, but it's not a knock to them at all. It's mainly because of how good our secondary is and how strong our D line is. This linebacking core is interesting, man. Like I want to see what our young guys do for sure. What Fangio's got cooked up for them.
You know, Fangio for me is one of the biggest.
Tyndall, yes, bro. Please, Channing Tyndall. I just saw that Manolo said. If this 4'2", 6'3", 240-pound monster wants to wake up, you know, there's all the talk of the Eagles getting their Georgia players. We have one of our own. So, Mr. Tyndall, you had 50 starts for Georgia, one of the best defenses of all time. Please wake up for Miami and be that presence in the middle for us.
Miami Sports Music, #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers. Hit the like button. Over 100 of y'all watching. Only 53 likes. Only 53 likes. Hit the like button. It doesn't cost anything. You guys literally just got to hit a button. Just hit it. Hit the like button. Okay. Brett says, I like David Long. He has to stay healthy. Tyndall has to take the next step up, or they will need a linebacker to play over Baker. That was going to be another thing. Where do you see Jerome Baker in a Vic Fangio defense? And what type of role do you think he'll play this year? Will he be the Dolphins' leading tackler again? I hope not. I hope the answer is no to that. I love Jerome, too, but he better not be our leading tackler next year. Bobby, you agree? Disagree?
I agree with you, and I'm not hating on Jerome Baker. I like Jerome Baker. I understand where fans get concerned because, you know, you want an upgrade, but it's, you know, if he is not your leading linebacker, I think he's going to look way better next to a David Long in that company. I still think we need to add another veteran, like I said, but I'm with you. I hope he's not the leading tackler.
Nando?
Yeah, definitely Jerome Baker. I thought he was going to be a lot better when we got that big money. He has not played it up to the contract. No hate on him. I think he's a fine player, but not that true middle linebacker one. And if you want, you know, it's a player that I hope Channing Tyndall can grow into. It's a player I think David Long can be. Jerome Baker's better as a 2. Let him play off ball a little bit. Let him get after the QB. He's a little bit smaller, more athletic. Let him play to his strengths, man, which I think Fangio will do, and just have a little role for Mr. Baker. But he's not our middle linebacker captain, Ray Lewis.
I agree with that point too. I trust in Fangio. If the Dolphins decided to keep him, you know, they took the option, whatever, then I trust they have a plan for him. So I'm excited to see what he can do this year in this Fangio defense.
Yeah, he's like exactly. It's the trust in Fangio. Like maybe it's not like what McDaniel did with Gesicki last year. That since we were talking about it, like Baker is like, you know, he spent the entire offseason. He spent the entire year last year just looking at different defenses and different schemes. I have to assume he's got different little roles, different ideas for everyone on our team that's currently on it. So hopefully Baker's got a nice little future for him.
Hey, question. Where does Melvin Ingram have a place on this team?
For me, yeah. Absolutely. I'd love him to have him back.
Why isn't he back already? Why do you think he's not back already? You think it's money? You think it's Vic Fangio not thinking Melvin Ingram will fit in the scheme? Although I think Melvin Ingram would be a perfect fit for a Vic Fangio scheme personally.
I think it's money, and I think maybe after June 1st might become a more likely option.
What would he demand?
To get more money. That'd be true.
Can somebody go to Spotrac and see what he would demand? Like, what would his Spotrac his number be for this year? I'd be interested to know what Melvin Ingram's number would be. As far as running backs linebackers are concerned, this is anybody who has the linebacking moniker on ourlads.com. It is Jalen Phillips, Andrew Van Ginkel, Cameron Good, Garrett Nelson, David Long Jr., Channing Tyndall, Aubrey Miller, Jerome Baker, Duke Riley, Bradley Chubb, Malik Reed, Zeke Vandenberg, and Randy Charlatan. All have that linebacking moniker to them. And obviously there are some true linebackers there and some that are, pass rushers, that might play on the line. What about, two Dolphins that really stand out to me are Duke Riley and Andrew Van Ginkel. Andrew Van Ginkel was the first linebacker that was re-signed this offseason, which tells me a lot about Vic Fangio liking him, right? Like that's a big signing to bring somebody like that back. And then, Duke Riley, where does Duke Riley fit into this team? Is he here because of special teams, or is he here because of what he can contribute maybe at the linebacker position? My personal opinion is he's here for special teams.
A little bit of everything, bro. That's kind of my favorite part about Duke. He could be a special teams guy. He can do a little bit of a lot of things well. Nothing he truly excels at, I'd say. But which is kind of what last year when he started getting used so much, when his usage rate was up, you kind of saw a little bit of the holes in Duke. Still fine player. I think if you use him in a reduced capacity, again, Fangio having a role for him, having special teams or certain packages them on the field, he's gonna definitely contribute, definitely produce, man. That's why you bring a veteran like that back. I like Duke, bro.
I like Duke Riley too, and one of the things that I think is going to be under the radar. Well, I hope it's not under the radar for those Dolphins fans. But did you guys look up Spotrac? Did somebody look up his Spotrac?
About 4 million. If I read that correctly, it's 4 million.
That's what he'll demand, or that's what he'll command.
Yeah,
4 million, huh? And we got 10 million coming available post June 1st. We got to figure out a way to do that. I still think there's a restructure somewhere. It's got to be Christian Wilkins restructure. And you got to make
if you
that
extend
work.
him, lower his base for this season, that probably frees up some cap.
What is Christian Wilkins' base for this year?
Let's put some Dolphins up here.
I'm trying to find out where we can get more money. And I know Christian Wilkins is obviously one. You're not redoing Agba's contract, by the way. Agba, you're just going to let him play on his I think it's 8 million he's getting this year. You just let him play on it and hope that he turns out great. Wilkins' base is 10.73, Brett said. So if you could take, all right, so we got 10 million coming in post June 1st. You renegotiate Christian Wilkins' contract, which from all indications, I think that is going to happen. You could potentially get another 15 million on the books right there. Now, Ingram, there's 4 million. So that leaves you with $11 million left. What is Dalvin Cook going to cost us this year?
Ooh.
Here's the thing. So trade, right? If he's traded, it's 11 million. Him, because I was really into the Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook conversation earlier. Both are going to be worth 11 million next year. But if he's cut, you might obviously, again, lower base, more guaranteed bonus. That's going to help. I'd have to assume again, like maybe 5 or 6.
And you got and we can save another couple of mil off of Cedric Wilson and getting rid of him if you trade him.
Unless they pull a Mike Gesicki and want to be loyal to him.
There's no reason for the Dolphins to be loyal to Cedric Wilson. None at all.
Chris Greer, we have to do right by him. I'm like, are you effing serious with that?
I read that the Dolphins are it was a Twitter, somebody in the Twitter world, but there's no upside to keeping Cedric Wilson, right? Like none that I can think of.
Yeah.
Is there? Is there an upside to keeping Cedric?
Devon Achane can return kicks, so no.
And Braxton Berrios can return kicks.
Oh, yeah, true.
There's no benefit to the Miami Dolphins keeping Cedric Wilson. You can't.
Damn, man.
You can't renegotiate Wilkins, Steven. You can only extend, fix your verbiage. Fine, Von Joe. Gosh, you're so fine, Von Joe.
There we go, Vaughn.
Batman says trade Wilson, extend Wilkins and Connor. You free up about $26 million.
Mr.
There you go. Well, that brings in Melvin Ingram at 4. That brings in Dalvin Cook at 11. So there's 15. You still have 11 million left. You still have, am I right? Am I doing that math right? You still have 11 million left over
for the draft class, right?
Yep. Well, yeah, shoot. I forgot about the draft class.
Yeah.
What is draft class going to cost us? Shouldn't cost us that much.
No.
What is Cam Smith going to that's 3 million, 4 million, maybe this year. I'm going to say 3 million just to be on the safe side.
I have no clue how the rookie.
My guess is this year it'll cost us a total of about 5 million. So there we go. So there's 6 million there. So our draft class will cost us $5 million this year alone. And there we go. So that leaves us with 5 million left over. including the Byron money, you would have about 26 million, maybe like 8 mil for the draft class. I think it's going to be all right. So let's say that. We'll split it down the middle. We'll say 6.5 million. I said 5, you said 8. We'll go 6.5. 6.5 million, Batman. That'll be left over after you sign Melvin Ingram and after you get Dalvin Cook. Is there anybody else that I'm missing that the Dolphins would go after or try to bring in? Or do you save that 6.5 for what you said, Bobby, that the moment somebody gets released out in training camp, boom, we got the money, we can bring them in?
Well, did we count Cam Fleming if that deal goes in?
Ooh, what does his Spotrac number say? What does Cam Fleming's what does his Spotrac number say? That's interesting. Yeah, I totally forgot about Fleming. And DJ Fluker maybe too.
Who'd you rather have, Fleming or Fluker?
I want both.
Okay. So
Greedy
last year,
Fleming because he's played and has started last year in the NFL. It's got to be Fleming.
let's see here. Can't command more than that. I mean, last year he had a 1.2. I'd say 1.3.
J.R. Black and Batman are saying 2.5. So if Fleming comes in at 2.5 and we have $6 million left over, we still have another 4 for somebody in free, that gets cut.
An acorn. I call them acorns.
A little saving, a little nut for the future.
So
That-
what are so to Batman's point, okay? To Batman's point. What are the odds we trade Cedric Wilson?
Does he get traded to in that Vikings deal?
Ooh.
That's the deal I'm looking at with Cedric Wilson.
Well,
If they trade for Cook to the Vikings, if that deal goes through, I think he could be included in that deal.
I still feel like Dallas wants him back. And Houston has also been interested in Cedric, I've heard too. So I think he's going to the state of Texas. But man, Minnesota could be. I mean, Minnesota, there's no Adam Thielen there anymore. And there's no Stephon Diggs. You got Justin Jefferson.
They did draft Jordan Addison, but they could use a wide receiver 3 like a slot because they only have KJ Osborne, and he's not good, bro. Like KJ Osborne is like Cedric Wilson didn't get used much last year.
Minnesota, Bobby. I don't know if anybody ever told you this, but you're a smart man. Okay, you're a smart man.
Thank you. Thank you, Pat.
Yeah, dude, Cedric would be a damn good fit
pretty nice,
in Minnesota. I never thought about Minnesota. I always said Dallas would go after him.
Yeah, that's natural, right? He came from there. They like him there. There's rumors that the Cowboys were interested in him. But again, looking at the Vikings, it'd make a lot of sense. If the deal with Cook goes through, I could see him being included in that deal. Legacy. Think of this. Miami trades Wilson to Dallas for a 5th and flip that
If the
5th.
Dolphins pulled off that madness, I swear to God, it would be the greatest thing ever, Brett.
I will give Brett his flowers. Brett is a part of the Phins Sports Network, and he was the one when we signed Cedric Wilson. When I said, "What do you think of Cedric Wilson?" His exact response was, I don't think he fits." I was like, "Well, damn. Okay. Well, I'm excited now."
It'll all be worth it if we get Dalvin Cook somehow,
Dolphins
man.
trade Cedric Wilson to Dallas for a 5th, and then take that 5th and say, "Here you go, Minnesota. Give us Dalvin." That's a chess move. That's what makes me love Chris Greer, because I don't know anybody else that can pull that off. I'm sorry. I don't know anybody else that could. Wilson is an insurance policy if Tyreek or if Waddle went down. No, Kaz, I don't. Think about it like this. Right now, Dolphins wide receiver room looks like currently Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Cedric Wilson, River Craycraft, Chosen Anderson, Braxton Berrios, Eric Ezukama, Braylon Sanders, Freddie Swain, and then Chris Coleman and Dawood Davis. Okay. I got to think Ezukama is going to make the team. Berrios is going to make the team. Chosen Anderson is going to make the team. That's 1, 2, 3, Craycraft is probably going to make the team. That's 4. Waddle and Hill 5 and 6. And you'll probably get maybe Freddie Swain or Braylon Sanders or maybe an undrafted free agent. Cedric Wilson is a luxury.
Sanders,
and and personally, it's not even a luxury. He just does not fit on our roster. Point blank, period. Trade his butt. There's no point in keeping him. No point in keeping him. You're never, and even if Tyreek, God forbid, knock on wood, everybody knock on wood right now. God forbid Tyreek Hill went down. Thank you. God forbid Tyreek Hill went down. You're not replacing Tyreek Hill. You can't replace him. He's irreplaceable.
I was knocking on wood for Tyreek Hill. I wasn't asking. The wife came right here. What's up? It was for Tyreek. It wasn't for you. It's okay. Love
she
you.
is awesome. And she likes football too. Boom.
Yeah.
Winner.
That's right.
Oh, man. No, well, so here, all right. So, gentlemen, here's something else we haven't discussed. Noah Igbenogany could get traded. You could throw him in a package deal. What is
hero of
Noah's
the Steelers
contract this
game?
year? What is Noah's Spotrac this year? What is his salary this year? If you got rid of Noah, how much would that save us? $1 million, maybe 2. I kind of think it would be about $1 million, maybe 2. If it's any more than that, I'm definitely trying to get rid of him.
I want a couple first-round picks for Noah, but I'll take Dalvin Cook, I guess. If there's any GMs listening
We
out
all
there,
want a couple first rounds for Noah.
3.5.
we'll settle.
3.5 million.
Yeah, his cap hit 3.5.
So timeout. By trading Cedric, I'm saving 6. And if I trade Cedric and Noah, I save 10 total. Bro,
Let's see if
Flores, you know you want your boy back.
Yeah, you owe us a
You want
first
your
rounder,
boy.
bro. Yeah.
Flores, you know you want your boy to come play defense in Minnesota. Go trade Noah to Minnesota. Yeah, I'm telling you right now. You trade. I like it. Trade set. Listen, you ready, Bobby? Ready, Nando? Cedric Wilson to Dallas for a 5th. Now we have Dallas's 5th. We take that with Noah Igbenogany and we say, hey, give us the Dalvin Cook and give us a 6th rounder. Let's go.
I'm all aboard, bro. I'm all aboard, man. And look, Noah Benogany, best game of the season, maybe even of his career last year, was against who? The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Your wife's multitasking.
Who was in
okay?
attendance?
Bobby?
Sorry.
Who was in attendance there at that game of Noah Benogany, the pick for the game winner? A certain Brian Flores on the Steelers sideline. And now he gets to be like, hey, man, I just saw my boy Noah back there in Miami. He looked phenomenal. He actually beat us.
Phenomenal. He made a game-winning interception against us when I was with Pittsburgh. Man, that guy's awesome.
I've never heard of this Dalvin Cook guy, so we're going to trade him away.
We need to start a movement on Dolphins Twitter, everybody. We need to tag Minnesota Vikings and tag every Minnesota Viking person we know and say how wonderful and amazing Noah Igbenogany is.
Just repeat the pick play.
Shame if the Dolphins lost him. We need
Get on
that
it,
right now
Twitterverse.
on social media. Twitter, go to the masses at Vikings. Noah's an amazing talent. Oh man, I'd be so upset if the Dolphins traded him to Minnesota. Oh, I'd be so upset. So upset. So upset.
Feels like what the Cowboys did when Cedric Wilson, they were like, oh, I don't want to lose Cedric. I don't want to lose Cedric. And we got him like, yeah. And then, except for Legacy, who went, and I was like, uh-oh. I was like, well,
that's hey, did we get bamboozled by, is that the only time we might have ever gotten bamboozled in a trade? under Greer's tenure? We don't lose much on trades, but we did lose in the Cedric Wilson one, apparently. Raphael says, so upset. I'm telling you, man. That's what we need to do. We need to start a movement on Twitter right now. Noah. Oh my God, I can't lose Noah Igbenogany. He's so amazing.
Just gonna start cutting up the highlight tape, start getting it trending.
Right? I need the highlight tapes with the music in the background.
The future of Miami.
There you go.
The future of Miami secondary. Noah Igbenogany. Let's go.
Just the same angle of that one pick play, just different angles. Just
Brett says we signed Wilson. Oh, thank you, Brett. Bobby was wrong again.
Sorry,
go,
I
Bobby.
misspoke. We signed him.
I know.
but
We're
still.
all misspoken this morning. Von Joe's correcting me. Brett's correcting you.
Brett's about to find a new network.
You guys
No,
don't
just
ever
kidding.
make mistakes. Like Von Joe and you are perfect. Okay? All right?
Mr. Lagasse.
Von Joe, I love you, Von Joe. Whatever. All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Over 100 of y'all watching, only 64 likes. Can we get to 80 likes? Let's get to 80 likes right now. Hit the like button. Over 80 likes. Just hit 80. Just hit to the 80 likes. Let's go. The goal's to 80. And then if we reach that goal, maybe we'll try to go to 100. But let's get to 80 likes, y'all. Hit the like button. Okay.
It's jumping up. It's jumping up.
Brett says, don't fire me, Bobby. I was corrected. I
was about to say, you find a new network, homie.
You might have to find a new network, Brett.
I'm just playing.
Because I know how you treat your current employer.
That's right.
Anyways, all right. Here's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to drop the link. And Bobby and Nando and I are going to take your questions. If you guys want to ask a question, you guys want to ask us what you know, anything, we're going to drop the link right now for you all to come on one at a time to ask us whatever football question you might have, or about how awesome Jim Harbaugh was last night. He was awesome. He was amazing, just so you know.
He's my preferred Harbaugh, so that's pretty awesome, man. At first,
it was so cool. It was so cool last night hanging out with him.
It's cool you saw him.
Something I'll tell people don't sleep on. I talked about it last night, but don't sleep on either Jalen Ramsey or Cam Smith playing safety this year.
You know, somebody was telling me yesterday.
Ramsey could be used there, man. Like that, like how the Jags kind of used him. That'd be nice.
He kind of hinted at that. He said somebody called him a corner. He says, I'm not a corner. I'm a defensive back. So I have a feeling that that's something that's been discussed. So, and that made me kind of feel better with the Cam Smith draft pick, because if you're putting Ramsey at safety with Javon Holland and you're putting Cam Smith next to Xavier Howard, okay. All right. But
71 likes. Come on, guys. Get to 80.
72.
72. Let's go. Guys, I dropped the link in the chat. It's pinned to the top of the chat. Get up here. We want to take your questions. If you guys have a question for us, we are all ears.
And cheap plug, subscribe to Phins Sports Network when you can.
No, go do that. Make sure you go do that. Matter of fact, you're going to fail at life if you don't go subscribe to Phins Talk Sports Network. Just want to throw that out there.
That's awesome.
Make sure y'all do that. Raphael Court Night. I'm not posting that on the screen, but it would probably go. I'm not going to answer. Not going to do it. Anyways. All right. Alexander Diaz is the first person. Alex, the Knicks suck. Knicks are horrible. They're the worst team ever, and they're going down, cuz you're not even going to win a game. Butler's going to sit out tonight, and you're still going to lose.
Okay. If that will float your boat, then
it does.
Then that's fine.
My boat. Let me tell you.
I still think the Knicks are going to take it, but
I'm with it.
The Knicks are going to win. The Knicks will still win the series, but I give them credit. Game one, they played well.
It's so
but
funny
anyway.
that you're living in a delusional world. It's so funny.
Yeah, sure. Anyways, I don't have a. I mean, I have a question. I don't really have a question. I mean, I have a take. If that's okay.
Go ahead. Give us your take.
I still think the Dolphins hit on a lot of their picks this year. I still give them an A on their picks. Cam Smith was a need, definitely, in my opinion.
I don't know if he was a need.
And because what we went through last season with the amount of injuries that we had, you know, you can never have enough corners, especially going into this season against all the quarterbacks that we're going against and in this division. The thing is A-Chain. I really do think this kid is going to be really good. You know, out here in Texas, I saw a lot of the Texas A&M games, and a buddy of mine who I work with, who is an A&M fan, he said that this kid, that the Dolphins got a steal in this kid, and he thinks that he's going to be a future Pro Bowler in this league. What is you guys' takes on any of this?
Well, I'll go first. I'll say a couple things. Number one, I don't I don't think I've ever said in the last 48 to 72 hours that these guys are bad picks.
No, I never said you did.
Yeah, no, and I don't want that, I don't want that to be out there. I think Cam Smith's going to be a really good NFL football player for the next 10 years in the league. I think Devon Achane has the ability to succeed over succeed in this type of an offense because it's designed as a track meet. It's designed for speed, right? But I don't know if you can give this draft class an A. I mean, number one, it was built. This is built on depth. If the Dolphins knew all along they were going out and getting Dalvin Cook, it was Devon Achane's depth. We already know that Cam Smith's depth because he's not going to start necessarily, especially in the secondary. So you added depth when you could have added potential starters, potential, mind you, at positions of need. That is my problem with it, okay? And by the way, it's my problem, right? Like the Dolphins see it another way. So be it. They have another plan. I'm going to follow them. I'm going to keep on doing it. I'm going to support it. But that was my beef with the draft. I don't think you can give them an A on that alone. And because the 6th and 7th round picks, they're lucky if they're going to make the team. And that's no disrespect on them, but how many 6th and 7th rounders make NFL squads? Not many. So the odds are not in their favor. And don't get me wrong, I had Coach Harbaugh trying to tell me Ryan Hayes is going to be a beast last night. Of course he's going to say that. That's his guy. But I'm telling you right now, the odds of Ryan Hayes making an NFL roster, slim to none. Love the kid, slim to none. That's real. Bobby?
No, I think great points. And Alex and Alexander, I mean, everyone's has their opinion. No one is right or wrong. It's just all opinions because, again, Cam Smith, and I don't hate the players. I like the players a lot. Both very talented, obviously, especially if you're following the draft. Did not like the picks. If it matters a fit, you got to trust Fangio. Fangio likes Cam Smith, and we don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily a need, especially after getting Jalen Ramsey. Now, if you're telling me Ramsey's going to play safety, okay, I like that better. Then we bring in Cam Smith. A-Chain, there was other backs on the board. I like A-Chain, but there were other backs on the board that I liked that I would have preferred. Again, if you wanted a running back, you can go Charbonnet at 51. And if you wanted a corner, you could have gone Ringo at 84, who went 101. So I wouldn't say A. I definitely won't fail. It's not a fail at all. I'd say C+, because some people said best player available over need. My question was, were they really the best player available? I think Miami was following their board. I think that's where it was. It was their board. It wasn't best player available because they were, and again, you can't judge a draft until like a year or two from now to see how all the players pan out. But just on your research, mine, whatever it was before the draft, they weren't the best players available on the board. I would have went a different route, but I think they could end up good Dolphins. I see your point, but I wouldn't have given it an A.
Nando?
Sorry, I'm just connecting my camera again, bro.
Nando's doing
Nando got lost in space.
This little fell, but we think that the Dolphins, man, I don't know. I would give it like Bobby said, you really can't judge it for a year or two, man. Like maybe even a little further than that.
You have to grade it now. Do you give it an A now, Nando?
Do I give it an A now? Of course, then, bro. If you're making me give it a grade right now, because I think that the Dolphins have a vision for their players that they can fit, and they stuck to their board, and they'll be the best that they can, bro. They're young dudes, all of them. So let's
disagree with you, Nando.
Nando, let me ask you very quick. Nando, you're good, Alexander. I'm sorry. What was your preference? Because it is based off preference, right? Because that's where I go. It's like, okay, I see guys on the board. I'm like, oh, these are the guys that I think fit Miami. Of course, we're not in Miami. We're not in that front office. But what were your preference picks?
So that's my thing, man. So like I've thought, okay, Matthew Bergeron, that was the guy I was knocking on for a long time. I was very connected, Darnell Washington also. And those are both guys that slid far into the third round. Matthew Bergeron, I'm not sure why. Maybe that was just a lot of people saw him as a right tackle. You could have gone into guard. Maybe a lot more teams saw him as a guard than a tackle. And then For Darnell Washington, it was those health concerns that we just weren't privy to. But that's what I'm saying. Like, we have these notions, these conceptions that like these players are going to do well here, that we have them rated a second round, yada yada. But NFL GMs and NFL teams have it different. And so if they think that those guys are third round grades, those are third round grades because that's where they got drafted. If we thought that, oh, maybe it's a too high, maybe it's a reach, maybe they didn't fit, maybe they really are more concerned with their cornerback room. We love Cater Kahu, we love Trill Williams. Maybe Vic Fangio said, those guys are good and all, but I'd much rather rock with the Cam Smith, obviously, than one of those guys. I'd rather them, they still have to prove it to me. We have to see if they say, hey, we really liked Elijah Higgins, or hey, we really, Zach Kuntz, he went to Penn State and Old Dominion. He went right after Elijah Higgins. Why didn't the Dolphins get him? Well, Mike McDaniel was at Penn State. Maybe he talked to the coaching staff there. Why did Zach Kuntz, what happened? Why did he go to Old Dominion? Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe he didn't fit, or maybe we didn't like him. Who knows what goes behind those closed doors? Like, there's a decision. There's a reason for every decision, I think. So if I'm being forced to give a grade, yeah, I'll give it an A, man, because I think that the Dolphins stuck true to their thing. I don't think they reached. I don't think they didn't trade back, which kind of sucked, but we didn't trade up for a head-scratching pick. We let the board fall to us, and can't hate on it, man.
I think I'll leave it like this. One more take, and then I'm done. Steven, I know you got a lot of people in the back. I apologize. I think that Cam Smith is going to replace Xavier Howard.
Down the line, yeah, man.
I think that's going to
By the way,
happen.
that's not a hot take. That's an accurate statement. You're 100% on point with that. I think you will.
And another thing is with Dalvin Cook, the Dalvin Cook situation. Even if they do add him, you're going to have 5 or 6 running backs going into the season, going to the training camp. What you already get guaranteed money to Mostert and Wilson Jr. So where would you fit Cook? What is your starting 3? Cook, A-Chain, Wilson Jr., or Mostert? If Cook decides, I still don't think Cook will be a Dolphin. But
let's go under the assumption that Cook's going to be a Dolphin. I think it's going to be Cook, Mostert, Wilson. That's how it'll work. Where right now it's running back by committee. If Cook comes in, you can't do running back by committee. You have to go kind of in order.
A-Chain doesn't fit in there.
Cook, Raheem Mostert, and then Jeff Wilson. Hey, by the way, Alex, before you go, Himmy McBuckets Butler the third will be playing tonight. It is official, my guy. So good luck with the best player in the playoffs right now, because you're going to need all that luck tonight. Okay?
Steven, if the Heat win, I will not be a sore loser. I will congratulate you on the victory.
And I
Heat win the series,
as you should.
Congratulations to the Panthers as well.
But I will tell you right now, if the Knicks do win, I will be a sore loser. So I will not accept the Knicks winning. Okay, I won't do it. I won't do it.
You said running back by committee, but you didn't even mention A-Chain in that. That's interesting.
A-Chain will be in there too. A-Chain will be in there too. Hey man, I gotta let you go. I got people in the back room. Love you, brother. Be good, man.
Same here.
Yeah.
Nick suck. You didn't even get a comeback. Sorry, my guy. Bang bang. Sorry.
That was awesome. It's like as soon as he came in, just bam, bam, bam.
True friends stab you in the front. I'm
That's
sorry.
right.
Like a little boxer exchange right there. A couple jabs, and you were like, your response?
Alex knows the Knicks are losing. You're right. He does.
Oh.
He does. He totally does. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let me bring on Rashad. What's up, man?
Yo.
Are you still in Hawaii?
I'm in LA. I just landed last night.
Okay, you're in LA. Back from Hawaii.
Yeah.
How was Hawaii, man?
It was beautiful. I recommend everybody go. It's everything you
Sure you
see
do.
on TV.
And I'll
It's
tell you, just like
everything
Will, you
you've
told me about
imagined
getting
and
a new
more.
TV. All donations are welcome, but $2 ain't gonna get it, my guy.
You got to add them up.
They add
Save.
them up. They add up. You're right. They do. They add up.
But yeah.
So what's up, man? What's your question? What's your take?
So I wasn't able to watch the draft, so I only was able to see picks. I even missed the whole show. So what I did last night was I paid for Wi-Fi on the plane last night. I watched the draft show.
My draft show?
Yes. At 84.
Time out. I just need to throw this out there. You paid to get
I
Wi-Fi
paid
on
to.
the plane to
Yes.
watch the draft show that happened on Friday night from Hawaii to LA.
Yeah. Had to be done. Had to be done. It's a 6-hour flight. I had to do something.
It's only
I don't
6
know,
hours,
but I'm proud.
6
and
hours.
You're gonna
6
make
hours,
me
yeah.
cry, Rashad, because that's dedication, that's loyalty. Go ahead, man.
No,
You're gonna make me cry.
I was okay with the pick. I'm still okay with the picks. Let me be clear. But at 84, Darnell Washington and Trenton Simpson was available.
They
and
were.
We took A-Chain. That kind of bothered me. And then that made the Cam Smith pick bother me a little bit more. I understand the players that we drafted and what they bring, but they're not going to have an immediate impact as a Darnell Washington, a Juice Shrugs,
Are you sure?
a Trenton Simpson.
Rashad?
Yes,
Darnell
I'm
Washington,
sure.
because I've been scratching my head.
Sure.
Why did Darnell Washington fall, and why did the Steelers get him? You know, like Darnell Washington fell because of his health concerns. You know, like there's some issues there. But the only team that even took a stab at him was Pittsburgh, who has an established young tight end in Pat Freiermuth. So that tells me that it's a flyer for them. Darnell Washington's a pick. If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, they don't really care because they have Pat there. You know what I'm saying? And like no other team made a stab at that. No other team that might have needed a tight end, that might have needed to rely on him, made that. So that to me, like I love Darnell Washington, the player. I wanted him at 51, man. But the fact that he fell that far and that no other team, it's got to be a bit of a concern, man. Like because I don't think it's a knock on Pat Freiermuth. I think it's a bit of a knock on Darnell Washington, bro.
I believe it's because of how slow he is. I agree. In game speed, he's athletic for his size, but his movement is very slow. But
I think he'd be a good player, just maybe not as immediate as we thought. You know what I'm saying?
Is if we're going blocking tight end, I want the one who abuses the defender, the one who drags him across the field, the one who is elite at pass blocking or run blocking, whatever it is. If I need a receiver, I feel like history is repeating itself. We think that we have a steal at another position, so now we're like, okay, we can attack a room that's already good and prepare ourselves for the future. What about right now? We already were a top 5 cornerback room in the league, if not top 3, and that's because of Cater. Cater was our third best cornerback, and Needham's coming off injury. We could have went safety because if we signed Eric Rowe today, he would be the starting strong safety. He would be the best strong safety on the roster. We could have went offensive line. We could have drafted Juice Shrugs, moved him to guard, moved Connor. I know that's what Steven is dreaming of. Get the center in and blah 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 blah.
Dude,
we could have done so many
Minnesota,
things.
Schmidt
was there.
Schmidt
he
from
was
Minnesota was there for the taking.
That'd have been a nice pick.
That would have been, beautiful. Mama
We're thinking about adding depth when we could have added immediate impact. They didn't have to be the best guys, but they would have made an impact today. Trenton Simpson, I wouldn't even say. I would say by week 4 he's getting legitimate snaps.
Get him, Nando.
Like,
it makes absolute sense, bro. What Vaughn said, like, okay, that's like saying no team took a stab at Tom Brady. Okay, yes, that's exactly what it means. Like, no team took a stab at Tom Brady except for the Patriots in the 6th round. One team can take a stab at a player.
You do realize every NFL team passed on Tom Brady a total of 5 times.
Yeah, and every team passed on Darnell Washington.
Some of them did 6
twice, some of them 3 times. That's the point I was making. You know, no team took a stab on him until the end of the 3rd round, maybe even the 4th round. I know where he got taken. It definitely wasn't the 2nd. Where I thought he could even creep up to the 1st. Like
he was there. He was there at 83 for us. We could have had.
He was.
We passed on him twice for a reason.
And by the way, that is all the more reason why I'm frustrated as hell we didn't get rid of Gesicki last year, because we could have then had 2 3rd-round comp picks that we could have gotten a Darnell Washington.
We don't make the playoffs without Mike, Steven. We don't make the playoffs without Steven. Without Mike.
Just listen to me. You ready? You're not listening. Just listen. 3rd round. We had 3 third-rounders. Just imagine, okay? Because we got the 2 comps from Gesicki had we had released him. We could have got John Michael Schmidt. We could have potentially had Darnell Washington and then Devon Acme. You could have still got Acme.
It's true. It's true. But we don't make the playoffs without Mike Gesicki.
Being our third rounders. Bobby, would you have had an issue with any of that? We would have been the winners of the draft.
Yeah.
Straight winners. Wouldn't even have been close.
If we would have got Bergeron and Darnell at 84, that would have been. I would have said A+2. I don't 6th and 7th round picks. Those are project picks. I don't hate on those picks whatsoever.
Exactly.
But when you look at 51, and again, this is all hearsay. This is our opinion. This is what it is.
Look at Pete. Pete's trolling us.
There it is. And but again, what happens 5 years from now if Cam Smith is just Noah Benogany and
please don't put that in the air.
I'm just an A-Chain's a Gaskin, and maybe Darnell Washington is blowing up the league. How are we going to look back on this? That's all hearsay, right? But that's the point,
So to your point, Bobby, that's exactly where I was going with this. It reminds me when we took Noah and we passed up on Jonathan Taylor. It was like, okay, we got Gaskins, or we'll get I forget where Gaskins was drafted. We got something in Gaskins is how we look at it. And now we're looking at Elijah Higgins like, we got Elijah Higgins stash. We know we're going to move him to tight end, so we can draft him later. Let's just pass on tight end.
By the way,
hindsight's 2020.
And I like Elijah too.
We were freaking out about missing on DeAndre Swift, bro. And look, he's been traded for pennies to the Eagles, man, because he didn't pan out.
Yeah, you're right. I'm hoping Elijah works out. He looks fabulous. He looks like what I want my tight end to look like.
We would have at least gotten one.
I meant more about Cam Smith. I'm saying Cam Smith can still work out. In the second round, we were like, dang it, bro. We got Rob Hunt. We could have got DeAndre Swift. I'm much happier with Rob Hunt right now than I am with DeAndre Swift. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes we might miss out, bro. But like you said, Bobby, it's all hearsay right now. It's all opinions. It's.
And I think everyone has a right. Everyone in the comments as well has a right to opinion and everything. No one's right or wrong. It's so. A year or two from now, and we could say, hey, I was one of the guys who said this was going to work out, or I was one of the guys that said this wasn't going to work out. And but right now, like I said, I don't mind. I like the players, good players. I did not like the picks. There were better picks on the board.
Same. I'm right there with Bobby.
I could not give it an A.
That's right.
And I'll be honest, I gave it a C+.
That's where I'm at.
Do we upgrade the round? We added depth to the room. Do we upgrade in the first 3 rounds?
We did not.
Do we upgrade at any position? Could we have upgraded?
I think you could say we upgraded a corner, man. You can't. I love Cater Kahoo, man. I want a Cater jersey, bro. I want a Cater jersey. I love True Williams at Syracuse. Go Orange, baby. But Cam Smith is a better player than them, man.
He can be better.
So
where do we upgrade?
It is an upgrade. It is
the
an upgrade.
Nickel corner.
It's not the biggest upgrade, but technically it is an upgrade.
If you're saying we upgraded the nickel corner, I can see you there. I see Jalen playing nickel whenever we run nickel defenses, but okay, you can have that. But Cater was ranked top 10.
No,
was great at top 10. Now Cam Smith grades out top 10 in a Boyer defense. Hats off to you, man. We got something.
You answer that before the draft. Were we looking at the cornerback position with Jalen Ramsey, with True Williams coming back, with Cater Kahoo, Xavier Howard healthy? We're looking, going, man, we really need to help that unit out. It became that topic when we drafted Cam Smith. You started going, oh, but Death, remember all those injuries last year? Okay. Then it came up as a conversation point.
No,
as a whole,
I looked at it in the 3rd round, man. I didn't think we'd do it in the 2nd round, but I thought we could go safety or best coverage player available.
Safety's fair again, round. And that's why I said,
if we're moving
Jalen Ramsey or Cam Smith to safety, that's a different conversation. That's a different.
But Bobby, that's where it comes into play. Is Big Fangio's defense going to be 4 corners and 1 safety? And
I hope so.
And that's what it seems.
I want to see Cater
looking
on the
like,
field.
Bobby. And that means that Javon gets to seek and destroy. Doesn't have to be wherever he's at. And it's on the corners to be really good. So let's play this out. X, Jalen, or Jalen X, whatever you want to say. Okay. Opposite side. Then Cater Kahoo and Cam Smith. And you still have Trill Williams. And you still have Nick Needham.
And Brandon Jones.
And and Noah Igbenogany.
Ain't no way. Oh my
But you
god.
get where I'm coming from, right? So, and you get to have Javon, who just gets to seek and destroy up there. I'm taking that all day long as my secondary.
There's got to be a reason for it.
And it it'd be crazy. It'd be crazy. And God forbid.
Yeah, hope so. Hope so.
Knock on wood, everybody. Knock on wood.
I'm tapping because I don't want to have the same situation.
Knock on wood. Nando, did you knock? Did you knock, Nando? God forbid somebody goes down with an injury again. Okay. Thank
Somebody
you.
better step up, Cam. Better become top 10.
You then
Great.
still can go back to a traditional style defense and still be good because you still have quality players there. You have the luxury of having 4 corners and a safety because there's so much depth, and that's what Cam Smith provides, which is fine. It's what it is, right? Again, I'm not saying it's a bad pick, but it's and by the way,
it a good pick?
Defense that Fangio wants to run. So let's also play this out too. We get to play the Jets twice a year now with Aaron Rodgers, who are going to have Garrett Wilson and Lazard,
Mecole Hardman.
Yeah, Mecole Hardman. By the way, I'm none of these are great names, just so y'all know.
right.
Nonetheless, there's still some weapons there, right? I don't see any one of them getting past our secondary. Let's go to Buffalo. Stephon.
Couldn't get past Kohu. Kohu picked them off.
Check it out. Stephon was picked off by Cater Kahu last year. X and Jalen Ramsey, and I mean, come on. They are in front of Cater Kahu, and we still have Cam Smith and Trill Williams.
Oh, man.
I'm not scared because who's the number 2 there right now? Dalton Kincaid. Wow. Thank you. Not excited at all. And then Buffalo, and then New England, Mike Gesicki. That's about it. We can say Juju Smith-Schuster. But that's 6 games right there that, in my opinion, our secondary shuts down their weapons to a T.
6 games. It better be 17 games where no quarterback goes over 250 yards. Not one.
I just brought up
not one, Steven.
So let me ask you, having the second. All right, so here's a question I have for you. Having the secondary that we have last year, over under 300-yard passing games against our defense. Let's say, hold on. Let's say 9 300-yard passing games, 300+ yard passing games, over under. The over under is 9. Rashad, are you taking the over? Or are you taking the under?
For this year or last year?
No, this year.
Under. Easy.
Nando?
Easy under.
Bobby?
Under.
Yeah, me too.
It better be.
Me too.
Yeah, it better be. Is right.
Man, Lord have mercy.
I feel like
if this doesn't work, I'm looking at Vangio with a side eye.
So time out. I want you all to remember this. We're playing Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. Who else are we playing? I'm forgetting about some people on there.
McCorkle. No, I'm jumping. Who else is out there? Herbert.
Herbert.
It's no longer a joke. We could actually have the best secondary in the NFL.
Lamar Jackson. Yeah. I thought we had the best secondary already, honestly speaking.
Now we can prove it against all these dudes, man. Now we can, with Cam Smith out of there, and all these dudes on the slate, we can prove
this is the hot take for Hot Take Tuesday. The Miami Dolphins are facing Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen twice, Aaron Rodgers twice. All these, and we are saying that the Dolphins, and by the way, we didn't name all the other good quarterbacks that we're probably playing against too, that the Dolphins are going to have their secondary is going to not allow more than 300 yards any more than 9 times. And we think that's we all took the under, and we think it's way under.
We should be number 1 in passing yards allowed end of year. Or number 1 or 32, however you want to look at it.
So that's
We should have
interesting,
the
bro,
least amount of passing yards allowed.
because
Period.
you said 9, right?
I said
Steven.
9 was the over under.
So it comes out to we play an elite quarterback at least 8 times is what I counted, and that's counting Rodgers and Allen twice. There's 17 games, so that'd mean the other games we'd have to for sure have underneath 300 yards, and then those games against the elite guys, we'd have to keep them pretty close to 300. And I think it's possible. Like, that's how good I think the secondary is. We're gonna be able to prove it.
So Mike S says you guys are forgetting we better be getting a natural pass rush, which is why we all want Melvin Ingram back, right? That's the consensus on this panel. Fangio doesn't like blitzing. Quarterbacks may have all day. Well, to be fair, Fangio in his post-game press conference, or in his post-game, in his introductory press conference said, I will not be running a similar defense to what you've seen in the past. I'm going to be changing it up a little bit because for the last year, I sat on my computer and watched game film, and I've come up with new ways to attack NFL offenses. So I don't think we're going to be seeing some of the same things that we've seen from Fangio in the past.
10% a game. I will take blitzing 10% a game. These corners are allowed to cover as long as they need to.
And by the way, we have Christian Wilkins who was knocking guys in the backfield
sacks.
2 or 3.
Cover sacks.
Like, come on. And
I won't cover sacks all year long.
Jalen Phillips is going to be great.
Go crazy, D-line.
Emmanuel Ogba's got a real chance to step up again this year.
Yeah.
Jalen Phillips, Chubb, Christian Wilkins should get over 5 sacks.
All right, here we go, Bobby.
Just off the corner.
Jalen Phillips, over under 10 sacks.
Over.
Nando?
Jalen Phillips over easy, man. Let's get this game with maybe 15, hopefully.
Rashad?
Need.
I say over 10.5, 11.
Okay.
Yeah, I think 11.
So who's starting opposite him on the other side? Ogba? We're all saying Ogba, right?
Yeah, it has to be Agba.
Okay.
Ogba.
So let's say over under for him is 8. 8 sacks. Over under. What are you taking, Bobby?
Even 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. Push. Nando?
Yeah, I'll push for 8, man, because I got Phillips for 15.
Rashad?
Under.
Okay.
I got him at 6.
Okay, so that's fine.
5 or 6.
16 to 18 sacks minimum for the 2 defensive ends. That doesn't include sacks that'll come from the secondary. That doesn't include sacks that'll come from the linebackers. And that doesn't include sacks that are going to come from our defensive tackles.
You're right.
So we can easily have, let's say, 30 sacks this year. And I think that's being modest.
That's around the amount we had last year. We were like around 34, 35 or something like that.
I think that's on the low side.
Yeah, that's very low.
I think our interceptions will go up this year tremendously.
I think we'll be in a 55+ sack range. Quarterbacks just won't pass the ball. How could you? You rather take a sack or throw a turnover? With the coverage being as tight as it should be, it should be a field day for the front seven.
4-man fronts. Outside linebackers are edge rushers. Chubb will be opposite of Phillips. All right, fine. Let's go Bradley Chubb. Over under 7 sacks. Bobby?
Over 8.
Nando?
Let's hit it with that over.
Rashad? He better be over. For how much?
For $123 million a year? Over. I mean, not a year. $123 million? Over.
So that's 22,
and over
23
again.
sacks from 3 guys. From 3 guys only. 20+ sacks. And it should be more, especially with how much we're paying Bradley Chubb and what we gave up for him. Especially for the upgrade that we all think that Jalen Phillips is a mini clone of who that played on our defense, because even the man himself, Jason Taylor, said it. He said he's a mini clone of me. He's got all the tangibles. He has everything he needs. So we better make that next step up. And Agba playing on a contract or playing for a future contract, what happens most times when players are on the contract year? They step up. They step up. They want to get paid. Agba wants to get one more bag. You don't think he does?
One more.
I don't know. Do you guys disagree wholeheartedly with anything I just said, or are you guys, what are your guys' thoughts about the secondary, about the defense in general, and how that'll look? Giving up points to, big offenses that we're going to be going up against. Nando?
I mean, I hope we suffocate them, man. Like, I hope we're able to mitigate the damage that these top end QBs were playing. Because we got a slew of great QBs on the board, man. So I hope the defense is ready to step it up. I think they can. I'm hoping the schedule comes out May
next Thursday.
Next Thursday. Okay, boom. So then we'll be able to see exactly how it lines up. But I think for the most part, we'll be looking fine, man. Like, I think the defense is much improved from last year, and already entering before the draft, we thought it was going to be the best. I thought it was going to be the best secondary in the NFL. You add Cam Smith. Let's watch it happen in action, man. But
add Cam Smith and Jalen Ramsey. I think it's the perfect formula, right? You can't go over the top because you might get picked off or the ball batted down from the secondary. You expect easy sacks for the defensive line because of what the secondary is doing. Where you might have to be concerned with the defense is the linebackers. We discussed it. If you can't go over the top, you're going to try to go underneath and in the middle of the field. Can our linebackers block, or defend the pass, the coverage, tight ends? That's where they've struggled. It's not about, same thing with offensive line. It's never about how do you call getting players for that position. We have the players. We've done it. It's about execution. Can our players execute? Can our coaches get our players to execute? That's what it's going to come down to with our defense. Will Fangio's message get to the players?
I hope that that's the case. And for all intents and purposes, I don't think anything less than. There's no reason that it shouldn't, right? And everybody's like, well, what about the other moves? So look, here's what I think we've come up with this morning. Christian Wilkins is going to get renegotiated contract, extended contract, right? Whatever you want to say, Von Joe. Okay, whatever verbiage you want me to say. Cedric Wilson will get traded. Noah Igbenogany has a good chance to get traded.
Yeah.
If we can put him in the package to Minnesota, which I think they will. I think we're all in consensus that we think there's a really good chance Dalvin Cook will be here. Okay. And so you take those things into account along with getting some of that money off the books, adding that post-June 1st money, adding more money, with contract, renegotiated contracts. We think there's a chance to get up to upwards to $26 million on the books come post-June 1st, or eventually by then. And we could even have $3 or $4 million when it's all said and done at training camp, that in the case somebody gets released, or as Bobby would like to say, an acorn.
A falling acorn.
Come up and look, I think that the Dolphins are going to be sitting pretty. And I think Cam Fleming will be a Miami Dolphin when it's all said and done too. Disagree, agree with any of that, all that?
No, I think you're right on the money.
I think I am too, because I'm a smart man. I don't know if anybody's ever told me or not, but I'm a smart guy. At least
you're a smart guy, Steve.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I was waiting for somebody to tell me that today, because I gave you both compliments on how smart you guys were. Gosh. All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. All right, Anthony, I'm going to bring you on for 1 minute. We only got about a minute left, and we got to start wrapping up the show. So, Anthony, I didn't want to leave you in the back waiting. Go ahead real quick, man. What's your
honestly, I see what you're saying, but to me, when I look at the defense backfield specifically, I don't think the corners are really going to get as many interceptions as you guys think, because Fangio when it comes to the defensive backfield, Fangio relies on the safeties to get the interceptions, not the corner position and stuff like that. So when you look at it, the way he runs his defense, the safeties are the more important area in that backfield. He gets the corners, but they're not really he doesn't rely on them to give interceptions and get interceptions. It's more the safety position and stuff like that. So I think Javon Holland is going to be the one leading the team in interceptions in the back end, not X or
timeout.
Or,
You think a safety is going to lead our team in interceptions next year?
Because of the way Fangio runs his defense, he relies more on the safety position.
Interesting.
And you guys have too much faith in the pass rush. I think everybody. I think at most he gets 9.5 sacks.
What, all those three guys together?
No, Phillips is gonna get 9.5. I think Chubb is.
What did we say, guys? 10. Come on now, you're giving us a half a sack.
I'm the only one who went ridiculous with it. Yeah, you guys said like 10.
I'm sorry.
I said 11.
Sorry,
Oh,
yeah,
15.
no. I think Chubb. I think Chubb is the one that's gonna have 15 and like around 13 or 14.
Can I be honest? I think
Bon Joe, get back up here. Go ahead.
Let me just say very quick. Anthony, what's up, brother? I just want to say, I think, with Phillips with 11, I could see Agba with 8. Bradley Chubb should have over. That's why I said over. But if you're telling me who's going to have the lesser sacks, I would think it would probably be him. I could see 6, 7. He's the one I could see getting the less sacks.
And also for me, I'm making a big prediction. I think what we're gonna do is I think Cam Smith starts day 1 and they move Jalen Ramsey to the star position permanent, like as a whole. Though he's gonna play that from the beginning of the season. He's not gonna be a boundary corner and stuff like that. And when X leaves,
I think that Fangio likes him a lot more than we're giving him credit for. I'll give you that much. Do I think he starts? Probably not, but
I disagree.
I don't think your theory's far off. I got to let you go, man. I appreciate you coming on, brother.
Okay, bye.
All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show. Look, I don't think it's a bad.
I like the star position for Ramsey, man. Like, I think if he was able to just erase the best weapon on the other team, oh baby, that's a fun time. And then we get the other toys, let them cook. But we'll see how Fangio designs it up.
Do you think Bobby? What are the odds that Holland leads the team in interceptions? That's an interesting thought.
Anthony is comes on the show, or it's a commentator, or not a commentator, but comments on the page, and he'll come on once in a while. He's full of hot takes. He is perfect for Hot Take Tuesday. That is a hot take. It is.
Hey, Anthony, I'll give you your air horn for Hot Take Tuesday.
Yeah,
ahead,
it's a
Bobby.
hot take. I don't think it's very likely. I think it's really player dependent. I think, you look at Xavier Howard. Could he have a bounce back year? Can Jalen Ramsey take advantage of Cam Smith being there? And I wouldn't say, anything could happen, right? But I can't see Javon Holland leading the league leading the team in interceptions. It's more than likely one of those, even Jalen or Xavier Howard. My money's on Xavier Howard. I think he's going to have a bounce back year.
Wow, you think X is going to lead the team in INTs?
Yeah, I think he's going to have a bounce back year. With Jalen Ramsey there, I'm going with X.
Hot Take Tuesday. Hot take. I don't know. I mean,
I like that.
Thank you. Who's going to lead the team in interceptions this year? I don't think Javon Holland will. And I got to be honest, I don't think X will.
Who do you got? Igbenogany?
Because I don't think Jalen's going to get targeted enough.
That's a hot take, brother. It's like,
hey, Igbenogany interceptions count as 3, okay?
That's right.
Doo-doo take. Man.
Igbo picks count as 3, okay? So if he gets 4, he'll have 12, and then he'll lead the league.
All right, let's go with.
It's got to be X, man.
Not
because Ramsey won't get targeted enough. Like you got to be crazy if you're.
Throwing his way. They're not throwing his way. So look, I'm going to say the opposite of Bobby. Okay, it's Hot Take Tuesday. So Bobby's hot take is X. Will lead the league in interceptions. My hot take is Cater Kahoot will lead the league. Will lead the team in interceptions this year.
Interesting. Okay, what? How many?
Well, you're asking good questions, Bobby. I wasn't ready to give that.
Sorry.
Because people keep receipts around here.
They do. I know. I hate it.
That's why you need one of these, bro.
No, you
You can
asked.
say whatever you want.
I don't want to run from the question. I won't do it. That's why I like over-unders.
Okay, that's fair.
Give me an over-under for Cater.
Over-under 8.
Over. I'll take the over.
Interesting.
I think he'll get 9. I don't know if he'll get 10, but I could see him getting 8 or 9.
I would love it. I'm not mad. I would not be mad.
I think he could get 8 or 9.
But would that make you hate? No, I don't want to say hate. But that would make you more go and let you know you could say replace, but then you're like, why did we draft Cam Smith, the who's the one blowing it up?
Cam Smith just isn't going to get enough playing time, I think, this year.
I think that'd just be a really good problem to have. It's
True. True.
Like if Cam Smith is good, but even not, but Cater who's just so good that he has 9 interceptions in the back.
I say 8 or 9. Okay, I just want to throw that out there. 8 or 9 interceptions.
8 or 9.
8 or 9 for Cater Kahoo. I'm mad that you made me do that, Bobby, because that is definitely coming back.
Somebody's right now typing on their phone. Got your ass.
Got him. Got him. You're wrong again, Steven. You and your hot takes.
You need to make a tinfoil hat for yourself, man.
I know I need to. I should have done it there. Oh, man.
Awesome.
Bobby, what'd you think of being on the show this morning, man?
Oh, dude, it was awesome. Thank you so much, man. This was great. You and Nando are awesome dudes.
You were a pleasant addition to Hot.
Nice meeting you, man.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys.
It was a lot of fun. Tell us a little bit about Phins Talk Sports Network and where the people can find you, my guy.
Yeah, so in regards of where you can find us, YouTube on the Phins Talk Sports Network, just type it up there in the search bar. We're mainly Dolphin fans. There are some different fans of different teams. We cover the NFL. We got a couple of great Dolphin content tonight with Bandwagon and Real Talk Phins Talk. Saturday, all over. We got Dolphin content. We got Miami Heat. We got East 10th Street Boys, which was last night, Monday. We cover all of Miami sports. Me and Alex grew up in Hialeah, my best friend there. So we have a show talking about growing up in Hialeah and talk about the, words of the day. I mean, we go all over the place with that. But a lot of great content on there. We're growing. It's exciting. By a fan, for the fans. A lot of fan interaction. You can find us on Twitter at Phins Talk Network. Find me at Bobby Phins Talk. It would be awesome if everyone or most people would come on and join us, go like and subscribe. And, if you're watching the show, tune in, comment, we comment with you. The people watching, viewing, commentating are as big a part of it as the contributors. I love what we're growing. We're already starting work on the draft next year because we had so much fun doing it this year. And we like to kind of be ahead of the curve. So a lot of fun stuff we got going on over there.
It's good stuff, man. I think you do great work, which is why I wanted to promote you and put you on Hot Take Tuesday. Nando and I do this every Tuesday, and you're more than welcome to always come back on Tuesday and give us your hot takes. Just don't put me on the spot again because
I'm sorry.
That Cater Kahoo take is going to come back.
I loved it. I subscribed because of it.
Oh, all right. I'm coming.
Tell your wife she's awesome. She's the real winner. She's the real winner in life.
She is.
She got to marry you
on her birthday. That's how much of a winner she is. Married her on her birthday. That was my gift. I was like, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. You get to marry me. Let's go.
Right. She hit the jackpot.
Can't ever give you a better gift than the gift of me. Okay.
That's damn right. Happy birthday, babe. Here it is.
I like it.
Where's the package? You know where? No, just go. That's exactly what she said. Went, oh, what? I was like, oh shit.
Just be real quiet.
Oh, you got the bird? No, you didn't put the bird. That's awesome.
All right. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the show today. I got one more surprise for you real quick. Crypto.
What's up, Steven? What's going on, man? What's happening, fellas?
Did you enjoy your hot dog last night?
I enjoyed it. It was perfect.
Okay, I owe you no more hot dogs. No more. We're done.
All right, Steven. You're clean, man, Steven.
I'm clean.
Your debt. All your debts has been paid. The interest is still outstanding, but the principal is paid.
Hey, how awesome was it that we got to meet Jim Harbaugh last night and hang out with the Michigan football team?
I know. Who would have thought, man? And you rolling up, the whole Michigan team is sitting in your seats, mind you. And then Harbaugh's on the other side down there having a good old time, man. That was nice, man. That was
Awesome.
lovely. I loved
Thank you
it,
so
man.
much for inviting me. I had such a good time. I had to bring you on here at the end. And yeah, I appreciate you inviting me. It meant the world to me. We had a good time. The only time we didn't have a good time is when we walked 10 miles back to the car. I didn't appreciate that.
Yeah.
I was huffing and puffing. Let me tell you, I was like, "Are we? Is this it? Nope. Another block. We get to the other block. Where is it? It's just a little bit further. Are you kidding me, Crypto? Crypto, they're going to be mad at you because you're going to kill me. And then they're going to be like, where's Clock Blockers? And Crypto, you're going to have to explain to people that I had a heart attack walking back to the car because you sat there and parked 10 miles from the stadium. God.
I didn't know it was going to be that far, Steven. They told me parking lot W. So I just went to parking lot W.
Bonjo
That's
says,
what happened.
asking him, did he enjoy his hot dog last night? And Crypto saying the hot dog was perfect is a weird way to end the show. You know what, Bonjo?
You know what, Bonjo?
You as the person, you were in the back, and then you hopped off. You're
Hot
more than
take,
welcome
hot
to come
dog.
up here and end the show better if you think that you can do a better job. Bonjo, if you'd like to end the show today, I will let you end the show.
Man,
If you get up here, Bonjo, you can end the show today. By all means. You think
Knock
you
it
can
out,
do a
Bonjo.
better job.
In the words of Brian Terry, Bonjo, knock it off. Cut it out.
Just cut it out. All right, Crypto, I gotta go. I love you, brother. Brother.
Hey, y'all be good, man. Hey, next time, Steven, we're gonna walk up on maybe Mike McDaniel will just be sitting randomly in
Dolphins will just be randomly in Washington, D.C. and watching a ball. It's still the craziest thing ever. What is
at a ball game.
What is the Michigan State football team doing at a Cubs Nationals baseball game in Washington? Like, it made no sense.
Yeah. What is the chance of that happening? You know?
1,000,000 to 1. Seriously, 1,000,000 to 1. That will never happen again. Never.
Neither team is linked to either team that was on the field yesterday. Neither one of them.
None.
And then the head coach, the ties are all over the place. It's crazy. What is the chance?
I don't know. I love you, brother. Be good.
Love you, man. All right, Nando. All right, y'all. Hey, Bobby. Yeah.
Have a good one, brother.
What a guy. What a pal. Bonjo says, nope, you hot dog boys got a Stephen D and Crypto. Hot dog boys. I like it.
Dog
Might have to use that.
boys.
T-shirts. Get some T-shirts done.
Nando, final thought of the day. Tell the people where they can find you.
Final thought of the day, hey, you can find me at Nando Talk. Always a pleasure. We're up to 888 subscribers. We're almost there. 112 away. But it's been going pretty good. My semester just ended, so I got a little week off, and then summer semester starts May 8th, so we'll be good there, man. But I'm doing fine. I'm happy to talk Dolphins with you guys. Steven, it was a pleasure. Bobby, like I said, it was awesome meeting you, man. Had a fun time on Hot Take Tuesday. Definitely would love to have you on again. And yeah, man, I think the Dolphins draft is going to be doing fine. I trust the vision of the team, and I trust the future. I trust the future moves, man.
I think it's going to be a great time and a great show. Tomorrow is Wildin' Out Wednesday. It is your show for the fans. And, I don't have any control of tomorrow. It's not a controlled panel show. It's an uncontrolled panel show. So it's going to be fun. Make sure you guys all hop on tomorrow for Wildin' Out Wednesday. It's where we get a little crazy. And, it's one of the fans' favorite days of the week. So tomorrow, Wildin' Out Wednesday. Thursday, I am hoping to have Locked On Heat coming on to the show to discuss the Heat, which will be a good time. As a matter of fact, let me just see. Wes Goldberg from Locked On Heat supposed to be on Thursday, along with Cameron 954. So that'll be good times. And Friday will be Jason Sarney, Spread Kindness Friday. We got a lot of stuff going on, man. It's always great here at Clock Blockers. Want to thank Bobby Phins Talk and the Phins Talk Sports Network for hanging out with us today. Nando Talk, as he does each and every Tuesday on the best morning show right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Clock Blockers. We'll see you all tomorrow. Guys, stay on. We'll talk afterwards. Peace.
Hit 'em with the people's elbows, stick together like it's Velcro. You think you could stop us? Hell no, all day I dream about sports. I think I need some shadows, custom with some Dolphins colors, just to let them know we here. Yeah, I know the whole city riding. A little early, it's a bit surprising.